See how your marketing campaign
Look who let that back up in this bitch, son of a bitch. Luke can't kick Pennywise, this is it. We vibe, we keepin' lit. No commotion, gang control it. On these tracks, we locomotive. Okey dokey, hokey pokey. Niggas not even my smoky. Holy moly, this new wave, we about to slow the motion. We get these rap niggas time, now this shit about to expire. We never get tired, we ready to ride. We rollin' like size, you know we them guys. You better be biggie and ready to die. Look up in the sky, you will see boss, you will see I. This the time you pray to God, Allah. You strong like Papa. As soon as a nigga pop out, that nigga get pop out. All you heard was pop out. Nigga, I'm ancient, nigga, I'm fossil in this bitch. You would think that you ain't shaking again. I'm bring them roll up in this bitch like the wheel on some dollars. You want it with me, nigga, all you gotta do is claw. You can call me a duck, cause a nigga bout a bill. Nigga, I ain't worried that I'm fucking $2 bill. Suit up to kill. I'm a mixture between Bruce Lee and Kill Bill. I'm a bitch, nigga, magnet. Hey, bitch, hey, what's happening? Kicking it with these bitches like I entered the flag. You keep it beating niggas' ass. Somebody in the magnet. Some the nigga that don't be capping. When I be rapping, your baby daddy about to be killed. And you gonna be your widow, and your son is gonna grow up to be a motherfucking bastard. You should've never came at me with this rapping. This is not a movie, nigga, no script, no actors, no lights and no cameras. Like the sun, no order, nigga, I hate harder than Thor hammer. I wish a nigga was so I could nail him hammer. Nigga, y'all niggas softer than a pack of pampers. Everybody get why this bitch and TV play with it. You wanna play pussy, nigga, you about to get it. Stick, click the wrong nigga to fuck with. Leave a nigga head beat like a nigga struck a bit on my hammer. We are two legends, get up in the ring. I am Captain James, the American dream. Hey, you know you done fucked up, right? Hey, you know you done fucked up. Y'all had enough time, I ain't even lying. Hey, you know you done fucked up. Hey, LOL, you know you done fucked up, right? LOL, you know you done fucked up. LOL, you know you done fucked up. LOL, you know you done fucked up.
Till they get it, these motherfuckers think that I'm playing with a nigga. There you go. I can switch hands on a nigga. Wait, I ain't even no chance on a nigga. The third time niggas had to learn y'all niggas. We sing, hit curves, and burn y'all niggas. Had to give a nigga straight like a burn my nigga. They go big worm my nigga. That nigga better sit at the bell like I don't fill him. They don't want a nigga to hit him and come get him. Ain't no babysitting niggas I really would get rid of. Don't slide on a nigga, and that shit really kills. See, they know we in the building, and I'm talking top two. What the fuck you feeling? And I ain't even talking about the city, nigga. Cause none of these niggas can really fuck with us. Join me, go off and show off and come back and kill. I will told off and broke out your bitch on the field. Me, your fault and you soft and nobody feel. Drop you off, I promise nobody will hear. In that hand and the dick that you niggas can't be. And them niggas that y'all won't come see in the field. I'm sick and tired of these niggas who screaming they rap. I pay rent if you niggas gon' play what we live. So say what it is, go play with your kid. You better tighten up and play with your biz. Your wife is docking, she in need of some dick. And you don't ride enough, you in need of a pin. The intro we give to you niggas a bid. It's simple, I feel like we dealing with kids. Your temple, I promise you won't live again. By that time that we put all this shit to an end.
Hey, you know you done fucked up, right? Hey, you know you done fucked up. Y'all had enough time, I ain't even lying. Hey, you know you done fucked up. Hey, LOL, you know you done fucked up. Hey, LOL, you know you done fucked up. LOL, you know you done fucked up. LOL, you know you done fucked up, right?
Now all this fucking king talking, my nigga, I beg to differ. You waking up a killer, I'm talking about a gorilla. I'm so sick of pussy niggas and how they get and they feeling. All that talking, I'ma end it. I've been the truth since the beginning. Who say they bigger than me? I wanna know. I've been the truth since the beginning. See these niggas, they just talk a lot. You can meet me in the parking lot. I've been the truth since the beginning. It's time to put these niggas' mind in the right place and make these niggas show respect in the right way. I'm a big dog, you niggas just a lightweight. And I chin check a nigga for what he might say. So many dark nights, a lot of bright days. Serving junkies at the guard, so many night plays. Too many niggas walking around with these pipe dreams. I know what it might say. Got the crown on the right, king. You looking at the boss, nigga. Ain't no might be. I know they tired of me. These niggas, they won't fight me. But more than likely, they sweeter than some ice cream. Catch me on the right scene, I promise I'll be Billy D. So tell me, who the one that made your team? Who the one that made your roster? I ain't asked the king. That saddens me. Now you just made some tragedy. Now it's a waste of time for you pussy niggas to battle. Now all this fucking king talking, my nigga, I beg to differ. You waking up a killer, I'm talking about a gorilla. I'm so sick of pussy niggas and how they get in they feelings. All that talking, I'ma end it. I've been the truth since the beginning. Who say they bigger than me? I wanna know. I've been the truth since the beginning. See these niggas, they just talk a lot. You can meet me in the parking lot. I've been the truth since the beginning.
Hey, hi hater, goodbye hater. Assalamu alaikum, I holla later, no holla later. My mind on paper, split your tomato, hasta luego. Bout to hit the fucking block with a circle the size of an ego. Bout to spread the block, I'm all on the bread like some mayo. You a tough guy, so you say so. Bullets be size of tomato. The way these niggas be capping, I hope your head fit this halo. Then I go dig up in your hole. Then I say bye ho, I got ghosts. I've been the truth witness, that's why she let her prove shit. I'm slightly retarded, so you know I gave her that stupid. This is not a word, but y'all gotta know
back in your area.
Leave your head where the roof is and leave your mouth with no tooth. Stay in her mouth like a toothpick. I'm easy, cool and ruthless. She called me Bill Cosby cause a nigga stay in her pudding. Nigga, my pimpin' game old like a nigga named Rufus. It's about to get ugly like Whoopi. Y'all niggas is goofy.
Now all this fucking king talking, my nigga, I beg to differ. You waking up a killer, I'm talking about a gorilla. I'm so sick of pussy niggas and how they get in they feelings. All that talking, I'ma end it. I've been the truth since the beginning. Who say they bigger than me? I wanna know. I've been the truth since the beginning.
Yo, Crucial Gang,
See
what
these
up?
niggas, they just talk a lot. You can meet me in the parking lot.
What up?
I've been the truth since the
This
beginning.
that big boy talk, straight from the stove top. No one is damn sick, but to get your damn Clorox. So weathermen predicting snow, that's when my birds flock. I'm tryna lock down the coast, you tryna lock down the block. That's a big difference, 3.5 ball pitching, 7 grams quarter water whipping, 28, now you old flipping. Gotta move low key cause niggas snitching. Money talking, my palm itching. What you smoking, what you sniffing? Got medicine for your sickness, my stomach growling, I gotta get it. I'm bagging up the damn epidemic. Got a vaccine for when you're itching. Side effects, you might start twitching. I must admit this shit wicked. Sold my soul for every digit. I'm the best in the booth or in the kitchen. My crown heavy, my head dipping. I'm timeless, nigga, I age different. No cut, my weight different. King shit on throne sitting. Red dots is no missing. I body shit, I'm the mortician. Who bigger than me, go get 'em. I'm in this booth, I'm grave digging. I'm button pushing, I'm bold pickers, I'm rolling.
All this fucking king talking, my nigga, I beg to differ. You waking up a killer, I'm talking about a gorilla. I'm so sick of pussy niggas and how they get in they feelings. All that talking, I'ma end it. I've been the truth since the beginning. Who say they bigger than me? I wanna know. I've been the truth since the beginning. See these niggas, they just talk a lot. You can meet me in the parking lot. I've been the truth since the beginning.
What's good? What's good? What's good? What's good? We back. Tapping in again. It's Earz to the streets. Back in your area. I know it's been a long time coming. Man, y'all, I messed around and got a damn virus on my damn PC, y'all. Wow. Man, I wanted to go live earlier today. I've been waiting to go live all day. I really wanted to go live last night, man. But I had got a virus on my computer. I had to wipe my computer clean. I had to download all my programs back over, man. I had to put my OBS back on. I had to do so much stuff to, get myself back rolling. My setup is not completely how I usually have it, but I definitely got a lot of stuff, going. So shout out to that. Shout out to that. But how y'all doing today, man? How y'all doing? Shout out to R&B Garvey. Who else we got in here? Tanya 52. Shout out to Nathan. I think that's right. Angelo J. What's good? David Johnson, what's good? Fat T, what's good? Steady grinding, what's good? Star, what's good? So y'all, Joshua Hawkins, what's good? Nettie Ball, what's good? What's good? What's good? Everybody get in here. Make sure you hit the like button. I tried to make sure I invited some of my Facebook friends, man. What's good, G-Mac? I tried to invite some of my Facebook friends for this topic, man, because I was on Facebook earlier, man. And matter of fact, I made a post yesterday, and I really wasn't thinking nothing about it. I just made a post that, you know, a lot of people are happy. They're talking about, man, Larry Hoover free. Larry Hoover free. And Larry Hoover is not free. So, man, I sparked up a lot of shit, you know what I'm saying, fucking around on Facebook. I made a comment. I said, everybody goddamn, what the hell did I say? Hold on, let me make sure I quote myself the right way. What it was that I said. What was my post exactly? Okay, so my post said, niggas acting like Larry Hoover free. The man still got 200 years to do. And man, a lot of people jumped in my comments, you know what I'm saying? Like, man, you know, let the man this and that. So, you know, I didn't notice it till the next day. Then I came back again this morning. And I was just trolling a little bit, but at the same time, I was being a little serious. So I was like, man, it turns out that Larry Hoover could have been is a snitch. The nigga that wrote the book of not snitching, y'all praised him for 50 years. But I know I'm hating because whatever reason, the truth hurts folks' feelings. The nigga told the police the name of the person who shot them. So a lot of people, you know, jumped in my comments like, you know, that ain't snitching. That was so old ago and blah, 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 blah. And some people wanted to know what the name of my channel was. And we wanted to, you know, and I just told people, you know, if you want to come and have the conversation, I dropped the link. And we're just going to get into a little bit of breakdown about this Larry Hoover situation. Also, we're going to get into a little breakdown about this Nipsy Hussle situation. Now, I know a lot of people like, what Nipsey Hussle situation? So, this Nipsey Hussle, we did a live a couple of months ago where we was discussing how WACK 100 was telling, let me go back. WACK 100 was recorded on the phone by damn, I can't say this nigga name. He was recorded on the phone by Hassan Campbell about, you know, little freaky deaky sex tape that came out about Nipsey Hussle. And it said that, hey, Nipsey Hussle was doing a threesome with with one of his homeboys. And the girl that they was, you know, running the train on was Nipsey Hussle's baby mama. And on the video, apparently, the nigga bust off in his baby mama mouth, and Nipsey Hussle immediately kissed her in the mouth and said, neighborhood crip. Now, everybody lost their mind when they heard this. You know, WACK 100 dropped it, you know, but a lot of people don't like WACK, so, you know, when they said that, a lot of people went crazy, you know, because Nipsey is no longer here and he's considered the greatest. You know, once you die, a lot of people are gonna push your ass to the top of the totem pole. You could be good while you're alive, but when you die, they make you great. And there ain't nothing wrong with that. I didn't know. I listened to a little bit of Nipsey Hussle music before he died, but I've listened to way more of Nipsey Hussle after he died. So, you know, sometimes it be like that, but his music is really, really good. Saying that he's the best or the greatest and all that, I don't know about all that, but his music is really good. So, we're going to get in a little bit of that, but let's see. I know a lot of y'all came, and like I said, I invited a lot of my Facebook friends or whatever. So, a lot of y'all came to hear the Larry Hoover story. So, we're going to cover the Larry Hoover story first, and then we're going to get into some Nipsey Hussle. And my next live, I got a couple of stories I want to cover. I want to cover about the inmate escapee, about the 3 inmates that they caught, and the other people that has been arrested in connection with those guys, and another inmate that's on the run who is a former police officer, and how they're going about that. Also, in my next live, I want to cover about Ray J is now saying that Suge Knight was known for sexually assaulting men and women. And Ray J had some very interesting things to say about Suge Knight. So, like I said, we'll get into that. We got a lot of stuff to cover. I wish this could have been my second live instead of my first live. But like I said, I've been spending all day getting all my shit back together, putting all my programs back on here, getting my damn my Scream Deck, all my sounds back on my Scream Deck, and I still don't have all of them on here. But I haven't been able to put my animes back on here, so I don't have my avatar right now. So y'all gonna have to see this beautiful face for the rest of the live. Jimmy McFly, my guy, what's good, homeboy? I got your beat, homeboy. I got to download it to the computer. But yeah, that's how we're gonna go about it. So without no further ado, man, I'm holding y'all up with a little bit of stalling. Make sure everybody can get in here. Make sure you hit the like button on your way in. Triple S, what's good? My favorite editor, scammers, scoundrels, and scallywags in the area. So all right, y'all. So let's get into what y'all came here for. Now let's start off with Larry Hoover. Now, I'm going to act like a lot of y'all don't know who Larry Hoover is, you know, because I understand I have an older audience. I have a mixed audience, you know. I have an audience of older and younger people and stuff like that. So sometimes I can't get on here and just act like everybody know what the hell I'm talking about, because we talk about a lot of subjects. So we're going to start out with going over this Larry Hoover situation. Okay. So let's start right there. And hold up. Okay, yeah, so we're going to start on the Larry Hoover situation. Now, who is Larry Hoover? Now, what they say Larry Hoover is, because I'm not from Chicago, you know, a lot of people from Chicago probably would know better than Earz to the Street would. So the only thing I can cover is from a perspective standpoint. You know, I can't tell y'all for fact everything, because I'm not from where the man from. The man is 73 years old, I believe. So I got to just tell y'all from my standpoint, my opinion. So please don't get upset about my opinion, people. Please don't get upset about my opinion or any kind of details, research, or whatever. That's why I dropped the link. So if anybody disagree with my opinion, you want to come and have a conversation about it. If you ain't even disagreeing, but you just want to put in on the conversation, feel free to hit the link. It's at the top of the chat. And come up here and have a conversation about anything that you hear in this live right now. So let's go and rewind a little bit, man. It's been a long time coming for Mr. Larry Hoover to have any kind of, I guess you could say, any kind of leniency in his favor. But we know that when Trump first ran for president, Kanye West was the biggest advocate for trying to get Larry Hoover out. So I'm gonna show y'all a little clip of Kanye West taking this time of getting in front of the most powerful man in the world, and he didn't ask him, "Hey man, you know, can we get some affordable education? You know, helping cleaning up our communities." There's a lot of black discussion that could have been discussed with Donald Trump. But, you know, I get it. We are a country that love our celebrities. So, being the big celebrity that Kanye West is, he was able to get this seat at the table, which black people have been trying to get for a long time. But when we get these seats at the table, it seems like we use them for, you know, things that I don't agree with. You know, I think we could use our seat at the table for better things. But hey, what the fuck do I know? I'm just a duck mechanic, right? So let's see what it was that, you know, the suggestion that Kanye West had gave to Donald Trump in 2016. Oh, shit, hold up. It's always commercial when I'm thinking that the thing about to play, but let's get past this commercial real quick.
Larry Hoover's lawyer with us today. Yeah, we got Larry Hoover's lawyer with us today, and it's a prisoner that we're focused on. He has 6 life sentences, and they have him next to the Unabomber doing 23 and 1s. That means he's...
What did he do, Larry? What did he do?
Why is he in?
Yes, tell me.
Now, this is very strange that, you know, you could have these people sitting up here and, you know, like I say, you can talk to the most powerful man in the world about anything, and, you know, they was in here, you know, advocating for Mr. Hoover. I don't know how much this had to cost, but I'm pretty sure you can't get a conversation about a guy in front of the president for no reason at all. So they're having to explain to Donald Trump who Larry Hoover is and what he's responsible for.
Allegedly, it's for conspiracy from prison, from state prison. You know, it's alleged. But we do believe, even if he did commit...
It's alleged. But the feds literally had this man on wiretap, setting up murders, drug deals, and all type of things. And I don't want people to think that I'm anti-Larry Hoover. I got some kind of problem with the man. I'm just calling it out how I see it, man. I'm not no street nigga. I'm not a gang member. I'm none of that shit. I'm just a regular old blogger, and I'm just calling it how I see it. So if you know, if you're a fan of any of these people that I might not say something beautiful about, I mean, get out your feelings, man. You know, if you don't know these people, get out your damn feelings.
Commit those crimes. The sentence was overly broad into
What was the sentence?
6 consecutive life sentences in the most secure prison in the world, also known as a clean version of hell, for basically an economic crime.
What prison is that? Name the prison.
ADX Supermax.
Did this nigga say for basically an economic crime? Y'all call getting niggas killed an economic crime? I mean, sometimes, like, as black folks, I can't sit by and just watch that kind of shit. These are the black leaders of America, and when they get a chance to stand in front of the most powerful man in the country, we're talking about, hey, man, he got railroaded. You know, he got railroaded. Man, this shit here wild.
In Florence, Colorado. They house the Unabomber, Al-Qaeda operatives, mass killers, Oklahoma City bomber, things of that nature.
How old is he? How old?
68.
68 years old?
Yeah, 68 years old.
Really, the reason why they imprisoned him is because he started doing positive for the community. He started showing that he actually had power, that he wasn't just one of a monolithic voice, but he could wrap people around. So there's theories that...
Now, I do believe a little bit of that. You know, usually after niggas go to prison, they start becoming, you know, a little bit more religious and all that, especially the longer that they're in there. Now, that ain't the reason they locked his ass up from Jump Street. But, you know, that could have had a little motivation. Over time, they did see the power that one man was given.
There's infinite amounts of universe, and there's alternate universe. So it's very important for me to get Hoover out, because in an alternate universe, I am him.
Now, that got to be some of the dumbest shit I ever heard in my damn life. This nigga saying, in the alternate universe, I am him. What in the fucking whole hell?
Hey, bro, come on now, dog. Come on, man.
But if your ass sitting in a Supermax prison with 6 life sentences from the feds, you want a Kanye West to come speak up for you, because this nigga did it.
And I have to go and get him free, because he was doing positive inside of Chicago, just like how I'm moving back to Chicago. And it's not just about
you know, getting on stage and being an entertainer and having a monologue.
Okay, so I did wanna show that little clip before I go on, but let's read on. Donald Trump kind of just went on what you would call a pardon party, if you want to ask me. You know, Donald Trump done pardoned a whole bunch of people right now, and let me show y'all all the people that kind of got pardoned in this second sentence, in this second round of Donald Trump coming through the White House. Big Donald has let go quite a few people, most of them celebrities. You know, that's usually how it goes. But let's take a little scroll of a list of pardons that's been handed out lately, and then we're gonna get into these so-called snitch allegations. Hold on one second, y'all. So I'm having to do my live stream a little bit different right now, but I'm hoping that everything is good. So we're gonna look at a list of people who Donald Trump has pardoned for his second term. Say President Trump has announced. Let me make sure y'all can see everything I'm looking at right now. No, you cannot. Hold up, y'all. Let me adjust my screen real quick. One second. All right. So here we go. Y'all can read along with me. I hope it's big enough for everybody to see. If anybody got an issue with what not being able to see, somebody let me know something in the chat. That way I can I'll be looking at the chat a little bit. So President Trump has announced a string of pardons this week. The latest example of him using his clemency power to pardon people he believes has been treated unfairly by the justice system. Now, in my opinion, I think Trump just will let out anybody with a bag. If you got a motherfucking bag right now is the best time to have a damn bag. Because Trump don't give a fuck pretty much what you did, as long as it ain't got nothing to do with, you know, him and his people, as long as it didn't fuck up, you know, nothing that he got going on. But Trump will pardon your ass right now if you got the right type of bag. That's why he let Kodak Black out, you know, a lot of people. I believe NBA YoungBoy. But let's go through the list of them before I start jumping ahead of myself. So since his second term, Trump has issued a string of pardons while criticizing what describes as politicizing and weaponizing of the justice system. While his supporters see these pardons as effort to correct unjust sentences, critics say they reflect a pattern of using presidential power to amplify Trump's narrative of persecution and to cast doubt on legitimacy of the justice system. So that kind of make a little sense, man, because Trump wants y'all to believe that he got unfairly tried and all the crimes that he committed and stuff like that he's been found guilty of, which he'll probably pardon his damn self. He wants everybody to believe that, hey, we got a crooked ass justice system, and hey, it is partially crooked in my opinion. But everybody is not innocent. You know, people sit down and get their day in court, and sometimes these folks have overwhelming evidence. You know, but a lot of these narcissistic celebrities, they feel like they shit don't stink. When they do something, hey, throw a little money at it, you be done with it. But it's a man that's rotting in prison right now that's probably innocent and can't get nan bit of attention. But that's neither here or there. So the first people he pardoned when he got in office, of course we all know, is he gave full pardons to everyone charged with offenses related to January the 6th, which was 1,500 people. 1,500 motherfuckers that he knew had his back, he pardoned them, you know. So we ain't gonna go through all of them. You know, it's the former of the Power Out Boys, the founder of the Oath Keepers and all of these racist groups. You know, a lot of them got pardoned. So I know a lot of black people like, oh yeah, I told you Trump wasn't racist. He pardoned some black people. Man, please. You get 3 niggas out of 1,500. Stop it. Then Ross Ulbricht, on January 21st, Trump granted full and unconditional pardon to Ross Ulbricht. I don't know who that is. The founder of the Silk Road dark web marketplace. What? Did y'all just hear that? He pardoned the founder of the Silk Road dark web marketplace, an anonymous platform that facilitated the sale of illegal drugs and other illicit goods using cryptocurrency. But it was given a life sentence in 2015 for multiple charges, including conspiracy to distribute narcotics and launder money. I ain't gonna lie, a life sentence for that, I get it. I agree with that. If he commuted that sentence, but he also said that drug dealers should be executed. So you kind of got to pick a side on that one. So who else he pardoned? Andrew Zabowski and Terrence Dale Sutton Jr. He issued a full pardon to them. They are, 2 Washington, D.C. Metro police officers for their roles of the death of a 20-year-old Karen Hilton Brown. The pair was sentenced for their involvement in the death of Hilton Brown, who they had pursued in a high-speed chase for driving a moped without a helmet and for covering up the incident. So they pretty much chased the dude on the moped, caused his death. They got sentenced to, does it say how long did they get sentenced to? It doesn't say how long they got sentenced to. Trump pardon. Yeah, it doesn't say how long they got sentenced to, but hey, they got a full pardon. Some anti-abortion activists. He pardoned 23 anti-abortion activists. 2023, then he pardoned Rob Blagojevich. I remember this guy. He's the guy that tried to sell Barack Obama's seat in Chicago. They gave him 14 years. Yeah, that might have been too much for that man to get 14 years. He was a Democrat. Throw that out there. So, Brian Kelsley, who is that Tennessee representative state senator who pleaded guilty over attempting to illegally funnel money to his failed campaign for Congress. Oh yeah, he definitely got it. He had 21 months. Damn, he could let that nigga say he only has 2 weeks into his 21-month prison sentence, and he was pardoned. This man did 2 weeks in prison for funneling money for, a campaign, but he pardoned him. Full pardon for Devon Archer, former business associate of Hunter Biden, who had been convicted in 2022 for defrauding a Native American tribe in a $60 million bond scheme. Wow. Don't give a fuck about them Native Americans losing all their money. So Trevor Milton, President pardoned Trevor Milton, the founder of electric vehicle startup Nikola in March, who had been sentenced to 4 years in prison for fraud but remained free pending the appeal. BitMEX also pardoned co-founders of cryptocurrency exchange BitMEX. The trio had pleaded guilty to violating the Bank Secrecy Act by failing to implement and complaint anti-money laundering program. Damn. So we can go through this. There's a lot of people, but let's go through the familiar names. We got NBA Youngboy. He pardoned Contrail Deshaun Golden, NBA Youngboy. Youngboy set to walk out of prison July 2025 thanks to a plea deal related to the federal gun charge in Utah. The statement posted, but anyway, he pardoned Youngboy. Now Youngboy still has a state charge from Louisiana, but hey, the thing that he's been on house arrest for the longest and all that, it's been a federal crime. And he also parted these two here, these two white people. Y'all remember this? Todd and Julie Chrisley? Do y'all remember the real this guy here was real what they call it, flamboyant? He pardoned the flamboyant guy that had this little show. Do y'all remember this guy here? Do y'all remember they had them for like money laundering or some shit like that? So he, you know, he kind of spread the love. So shout out to Trump for spreading the love and, you know, pardoning a lot of criminals. Yeah, man. Shout out to Trump for, you know, like, fuck it, nigga. We all in this criminal gang together. So, you know, gang gang. But, you know, Trump did his thing. But the most noticeable pardon, not pardon, I'm sorry. We got to make sure we say this clear. The most noticeable commute of sentence. Because there's a difference between a pardon and a commutation of a sentence. And so before we start into the breakdown of Larry Hoover's, you know, said alleged snitching or whatever you want to call it, let's let everybody understand the difference between a pardon and a commuted sentence. So I went through the liberty of pulling that up for y'all, for the people, you know, who, you know, just they hear a word, they don't know what it is. Hell, we all do it sometimes. So look on the screen here, and we got the difference between a pardon and a commuted sentence. A pardon is a commutation result in a reduction of punishment. Oh, I'm sorry. A pardon and a commutation result in a reduction of punishment. But there are distinction between the two. The difference between a pardon and a commutation is that the pardon relieves an individual of all guilt for the committed crime. That's what he did with the Chrisleys. With those two white people we just showed, he gave them a full pardon. Nigga, nothing you ever did is all gone. Same thing with NBA Youngboy. Everything you did on the federal level is all out of there. While a commutation reduces the sentence without exonerating the person. So pretty much he commuted Larry Hoover's sentence from 6 life sentences. Say, hey, you done did enough time. You did 50 years. You done did enough time. Go deal with your crime that you got to deal with in Illinois. So hopefully that kind of clears everything about what that means. Now, let's get to the snitching allegation. What's good, Iceberg? What's good, Moonlight? Yeah, he pardoned NBA Youngboy, Moonlight. So he pardoned some white people. He pardoned more white people than he did black people, but at least he threw in some of your favorite black people. You know what I'm saying? So y'all niggas can't be over there crying and all that shit. You know. Trump know how to pacify some niggas. I ain't lying. Trump know how to pacify some niggas. So let's get to this Larry Hoover situation. Now, y'all, I posted on Facebook. I mean, I was on Facebook, and I had to go back and forth with a lot of people on Facebook, and it was kind of funny. I ain't gonna lie. I had a homeboy. Hold on, let me pull this up real quick. So I was looking on Facebook today, and the first thing I seen, not the first thing, but one of the things I seen is a rapper. A lot of y'all might know him, a lot of y'all might not know him. But a rapper named Rollo. So Rollo posted a post on Facebook. Let me show y'all this post. Because he got a lot of backlash for this post. So this is the post that Rollo posted on Facebook, y'all. So the post says, Trump is forever the GOAT in my eyes. Obama didn't even do no like this for us. I need y'all to read that again. And I'm letting y'all know the link is dropped. The show is welcome for anybody to come up here and give a little opinion about whatever you want to. And that's fine. But do y'all see what this nigga is saying? Trump is forever the GOAT in his eyes. Obama didn't even do no like this for us. For us. What the fuck did he just do for us by letting this nigga out? Can somebody tell me what the hell did the man just do for us by letting this man out? Oh, man. So y'all know I had to jump on here. Here I am right here. I'm trolling already. Us. This ain't no fucking victory. But let's look at what everybody else was saying, right? Everybody else like, man still got 20K years. Y'all slow as hell. He still got 200 years to serve at the stake. Said, we are so lost. How is this a us thing? Like, I'm glad that, see, sometimes when you look at these posts where people are not just, you know, brain dead and, you know, just going along to get along, a lot of people, you can read the comments and a lot of people tell you the damn truth. You know what I'm saying? He didn't get pardoned. His sentence was commuted. So this nigga, he already talking about he got pardoned and Trump is the greatest thing ever and all this shit. How you gonna give a nigga the greatest thing ever because he let out a nigga that did what he did? Larry Hoover did not deny that he did what he did. Larry Hoover knows that he's guilty as fuck of what he's accused of doing. He's never said, I'm innocent and I'm been held, you know what I'm saying, for stuff I did not do. He's saying, I'm a changed man. And, you know, I think I've done my time. But who are you to tell people that you've done your time after so many people that you are responsible for their lives? The man that you killed back in 1973, he would be the same age as Larry Hoover right now. How you know that man ain't want to live his 52 years? Because guess what? Let's say that 19-year-old he killed back then, had just had a baby, right? And his child is now 52 years old or 51 years old. Do you think he feels the same way as all y'all? You know what I mean? So people always say, oh, free this person, free this person. They never think about the victims. Now, if the victims say, hey, I forgive him in my heart, this and that, he deserves another chance or whatever, I get it. But a whole bunch of people that didn't take the loss, y'all just need to sit y'all ass down. That man got 200 years. Yeah, that was the life he chose. Niggas know what comes with that lifestyle. So everybody in here just going in on Rollo, man. I don't really see any good comments that Rollo had got. Niggas like, he ain't come on. Who is us? I don't know, Larry. Trump loves the gangsters. He commuted him. He not free. I mean, everybody went in. Everybody went in on Rollo. I guess Rollo thought this was going to be like one of those. I think Rollo thought this was going to be one of those lives where, you know, everybody like, yeah, man, free Larry Hoover. Yeah, that's who he should have motherfucking goddamn freed. That's who he should have commuted. Ashanti Secure. Tupac auntie. Now I might have if she had to go all the way to Cuba. Now I might have would have been down with that. Yeah, I might have been down with that. But yeah, Rollo made I think Rollo thought he thought this was a good thing. But man, a lot of people was clowning him in this shit. But anyway, let's read a little bit about the case with Larry Hoover. So the people who don't know him and the people who only know, hey, Larry Hoover got released. Let me read to y'all what it is he was accused of. And then we can go into what it is, you know, the rumors and everything. All right? Everybody make sure you hit the like button on your way in. So President Trump, and yeah, I got to put my reading skills to test right now. Y'all don't laugh at me. Y'all know I don't read the best. I might mispronounce a couple of words or whatever, but hey, y'all know what the fuck I'm talking about. So let me read this article real quick because it's pretty accurate. I did a lot of research on a lot of the old stuff, you know, that he's been accused of. So I pretty much got a good feel of it now. So President Donald Trump appears to have heard his first first heard of gang kingpin Larry Hoover during this 2018 press event with rapper Kanye West, also known as Ye. So that was his first time ever hearing about this motherfucker. So we heard what they told him. Hey, he's locked up with the Unabomber, allegedly from conspiracy from the state prison. It ain't no fucking allegedly. Them folks had that nigga on tape. So he was given 6 life sentences in the most secure prison in the world. That's because of who he was. And this is a picture of Larry Hoover. It's probably him in his late 60s or mid 60s or something like that. So he was in the 88 Supermax prison out there in Colorado. But let's get down to what his charges was. Say, West said Hoover is an example of a man that was turning his life around. After 50 years, you better turn your motherfucking life around. So, okay, let's start about right here. Okay, so things further devoted to where it would have been easy to forget to talk about Larry Hoover. So, okay, his attorneys unsuccessfully sought in 2020 and again in 2024 to have his federal sentence reduced. Federal prosecutors offered their own views of what Moore had called basically an economic crime. In court papers, prosecutors said, Hoover claims he engaged in political activism as a teenager, but the record shows that he was actively engaged in gang violence. The nigga said, I was a political activist while he shooting niggas. Starting a pattern that lasted for decades. By his own admission, Hoover was expelled from Francis Parker High School, and we're going to hear this name again. Y'all keep this name in your mind. Francis Parker High School. Y'all remember that name of that school, y'all. Okay? Y'all remember that. Hoover was expelled from Francis Parker High School after shooting a gang member in front of the principal's office. Did y'all just hear that? He was expelled from Francis High School after shooting a gang member in front of the principal's office. Now, we're going to hear a little something different in a minute, but I just need y'all to remember that. By 1973, the paper says Hoover had become a gang leader, self-crowned as King Hoover. At the meeting of his gang, Hoover ordered the execution of William Young and other street-level workers suspected of stealing from Hoover's narcotics stash house, court paper says. On the night of February the 26th, 1973, Andrew Howard, a gang member under Hoover's command, shot Young. He shot William Young under the command of Hoover for stealing some dope. Shot Young in the head 6 times and dumped his body in the alley.
Homie, don't play that. Hey, bro, come on now, dog. Come on, man.
Shot the man in the head 6 times. If that was your son, would you be over here hollering free Larry Hoover? I'm just asking. I ain't got nothing against the man. I don't care if he get out or not. That ain't got shit to do with me. I'm not a gang member. I don't got nothing against the gang. I'm just reporting the news. But think about that, though. Think about that. Shot the man in the head 6 times. And that ain't the only person, y'all. That ain't the only one. So let's continue to read on. So, dumped his body in the alley. Approximately 90 minutes, an hour and a half, y'all. 90 minutes after the murder, Hoover called another meeting of his gang and reported that he had gotten one of the guys that they was sick after, and he wanted the other 2 killed also before the week was out. So the man called a meeting because, you know, back then they didn't have cell phones and all that. They didn't have social media. You had to literally go have one nigga go get another nigga, go get another nigga, go get another nigga. You know what I mean? To call these gang meetings. It was 3 niggas that stole something from him. He wanted all 3 of them niggas dead. He never denied this. So he wanted them dead before the week was out. And here he is, he looking like a gangster. So one of the two, Tony Tucker, vanished and has not been seen since. They ain't seen this nigga since 1973. One nigga just vanished. The third, Joshua Shaw, was shot 6 times in the head and upper torso and survived. Nigga, before there was a 50 Cent, there was a nigga named Joshua Shaw that took 6 bullets to the fucking head and the torso, and the nigga lived to tell about it. Now that's gangster. Wow. When I read that, I said, what? The nigga got shot 6 times in the head and in the goddamn chest and lived? Wow. So, that shit, when I read it earlier, I had to stop and think about that shit for a minute. I was like, really? 6 times? Like bang, 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 bang in your head and still live. During the interview with police officer, Mr. Joshua Shaw said that he was shot on the orders of inmate Mr. Larry Hoover. Court paper says. Court paper says, y'all, this is documented. This is not niggas just talking in the streets. This is documented. He knew that he had a hit out on for him, you know, from the boss. And he was a snitch also. Because in the gang life, you ain't supposed to be able to tell on people if you in the gang or who shot you. And I think Larry Hoover made that rule. Hey, nigga, if I shoot you, don't tell nobody. But if you shoot me, I'm going to tell on your ass. Hey, man, that shit crazy. What's good, pick and choose? Shit crazy. So during the interview, Mr. Joshua Shaw said that he was shot on the orders of inmate Mr. Larry Hoover, court paper says. Just before the murder trials of Mr. Larry Hoover and Mr. Andre Howard, which is the guy that shot the man 6 times in the head, Mr. Josh Shaw was found dead in an alley with 2 gunshot wounds in the back of his head. So altogether, this man done got shot in the head 8 fucking times, fucking with Larry Hoover. I ain't gonna lie, that's some crazy shit. I don't want to say it's some gangster shit. That man, these people lost their lives. These were young men, early in their 20s. Somebody's kids. I got a 23-year-old son. Yeah, if he was to join the gang, yeah, that's fucked up. You know what I'm saying? But shouldn't he get time to redeem himself? See, right now, you're talking about the man that say, hey, I did 52 years. I should be able to come back home. I done learned my lesson. Well, the guys you killed, they didn't get to, live all this time. I'm just saying. I'm not saying the man, I'm just saying. I'm just calling it how it is. What's good, Helima? Shout out to Helima in the area. So anyway, let's get back to the reading. So when the court trial's about to come up for Larry Hoover and his hitman, Andre Howard, they main witness, which was the guy
Thank
that
you
got
for
shot
your
in the head 6
patronage.
times. Shout out to Helima for that donation. For donating those memberships, man. Get those memberships, grab those memberships, grab them while they hot. Appreciate you, hell, Lima. Hey, man, y'all show some love to Earz to the streets, man. God damn, I know y'all know I work hard all week. Damn, y'all want me to see y'all and say, stop all the beef in here, stop talking shit all the time here, stop fucking with these people here. Then when I do regular shit, y'all don't show the same love. Shout out to Helima for keeping the same energy. Show the same love. If I go to cranking up right now and go to dragging these niggas, but y'all go to filling it up. But anyway, Let's get on. I like doing this anyway, man. For real. So this ain't work to me. So the man got found dead in the alley. Hoover and Howard were nonetheless convicted. Hoover was sentenced to 200 years for double murder. So he got pretty much 100 years for, both of the killings of both of them guys. Because as we can see, back then, snitching wasn't looked down upon. Because the guy that got shot, he snitched. Somebody had to snitch on Larry Hoover and Andre Howard, you know what I'm saying, for them to know that he put the hit out and who shot him. Astonishingly, he continued to rule the Gangster Disciples from prison, court papers report. Under Hoover's leadership, the gang rose to prominence. So even when Larry Hoover, at the age of, he was 18 in 1968, so 5 years after that, at the age of 23 years old, this man went to state prison with a 200-year sentence. And from behind the wall, this man was able to lead a gang of damn near 1,000 guys. From prison, y'all. Let's read about what he was able to do from prison. And this is why he ended up getting the sentence that Trump just commuted. Not from what he did on the streets, from what he did in prison. So they were convicted. He continued to be the ruler of the Gangster Disciples from prison. Under Hoover's leadership, the gang rose to prominence, controlling a large part of the street-level drug trafficking in the Chicago area. At its heights in the early 90s, the gang drug sales brought in about $100 million per year. What's good, B-Mo Legend? From behind bars, a nigga was able to hold control over a gang on the streets and was able to pull in $100 million a year. Good Lord have mercy. That's an influential nigga, especially at the young age he was at. So if the feds see you doing this type of activity, right, putting hits on niggas, got merchandise all in the streets, guess what they gonna do? What's good, King George? Guess what they gonna do? They gonna snatch your ass up and they gonna put you in a Fed prison, away from a place where you can keep causing damage to the community. In the 1980s, Hoover decided to go from monarchical, I might have said that wrong, monarchical, I think I said that right, monarchical, because the word monarch mean like, say, kings and queens and that hierarchy with that. So he went from wanting to be, hey, I'm King Hoover, making niggas call him king, making niggas bow to him, to he wanted to be corporate now. See, he was the nigga before the Suge Knights, before the all them, before the
That one is smart.
Shout out
You have
to
smart
Big
ones
U,
and you have some that aren't quite so good.
Look at my African American over here. Look at him.
To switch over from trying to be king of his gang to trying to get in corporate America, trying to get into politics. He learned more while he was in prison. So the king became the chairman with 2 boards of directors. Y'all, listen to this. An incarcerated board for the leaders in prison and an unincarcerated board for the leaders on the outside. So this means that this nigga made 2 boards of directors for this game. Niggas locked up, okay, you got the power structure, and then you got the niggas that are on the streets in the power structure. He made the shit organized, corporate. Under the directors were the governors, who ran drug sales in the neighborhoods of Chicago and the suburbs. Each governor had some 1,000 gang members under them. The foot soldiers were overseen by disciplined coordinators who were themselves overseen by regents. So as y'all can see, y'all, and I'm going to be a little honest here, man. I probably know more GDs than I know of any other gang members, you know. Brunswick didn't have a lot of gangs in the 90s. Hardly any gangs. But one gang that they did have was what they call folk. And that's another name for Gangster Disciples. Because Gangster Disciple, they use the phrase folk. Like, what up, folk? You'll get fucked up some places by going around and saying, hey, what's up, folk? Or saying the word folk. Now, a lot of my friends from high school, middle school, niggas I grew up with, they joined the Gangster Disciples in prison, including my younger brother, rest in peace to him. My younger brother, and I can speak on it now because he's no longer here, he was affiliated in his life. Until the day he went out. He joined this gang while he was serving a 13-year prison sentence. You know, because the Gangster Disciple is very large in Georgia. It might not be large in California. I don't know if they large in New York like that, but in the South, in Atlanta, oh yeah. In Atlanta, they big. A lot of these small towns, they're big. Because they have a different kind of structure. I can't even lie. I remember when I used to be in middle school, I used to have homeboys, and these niggas learn how to stack. These niggas know how to throw up all kind of motherfucking SAG signs and shit. These niggas knew. They used to have this, what Larry Hoover did, he created like this gang Bible pretty much. You know, it's called like Book of Knowledge. And I remember when I was a youth in early middle school or whatever, and I used to hang around certain dudes or whatever and this and that. And this is what they were putting me on to. All we talked about is Book of Knowledge. The niggas had me throwing up the fold with when we meet up, handshake, throw up the fold, all this crazy shit like that. And I don't think that, but they learned it from the older heads or whatever, because they probably came from Atlanta. They've been around some people that was claiming this, the GD life, because you are not going to be a part of GD if you're not locked up. Let's start right there. Most of the gangs, a person locked up is going to come out and initiate people. Most of the time when people join gangs, it's from being locked up. In the South, anyway. I don't know about LA. I can't speak for LA and New York. In the South. I'm only speaking for the South. Somebody that's been locked up is most likely going to be the person that approve you, you know what I'm saying, put you down. And they actually had rules, regulations. You had to learn the Book of Knowledge. You had to learn everything that Larry Hoover put in a book, and you had to memorize that shit. You would be amazed how much niggas know more about this Book of Knowledge than they know about everyday shit that they should know about. I'm serious, y'all. So, if there was more demand in the area than the Gangster Disciple had foot soldiers to supply, the gang permitted dealers unaffiliated with a game called Neutrons. That means a person that's not in the gang and they ain't affiliated with no other gang. That's what they call a neutron. To sell their wares so long as they pay a tax to the Gangster Disciples, the court papers say. But the Gangster Disciples violently suppressed any rival gang's attempt to sell in Gangster Disciples territory. Now in Chicago, the Gangster Disciple is very big, and you know, from my understanding, this is what I think. I don't want to put nothing on nobody, so we'll just leave it there. The papers add, in order to funnel proceeds from the enormous number of small sales to the gang's leaders, Hoover decided to charge each gang member certain dues, called the count or the weekly. This was in effect a tax or franchise fee for doing business as a Gangster Disciple. This nigga was trying these niggas like McDonald's. Yo, the nigga was operating like McDonald's. He was letting niggas operate on his corner as long as they paid a fee. A franchise fee. to do business as a Gangster Disciple, man. This nigga was cold, boy. Similar to the tax levy on neutrons. The governors were responsible for getting the weekly into the directors. And I know that they're telling the truth about this because I've seen some niggas on YouTube and they were like, man, I was a governor, I was a this and that, especially when you're dealing with, I think we was talking about the, like Blue Da Vinci and a couple of them guys. Which city is this? This is Chicago. Chicago is where Larry Hoover came up. And there was another guy that came up with him that we're about to talk about. And that's the person that I more heard of coming up. I'll get into that. So the papers further report that Hoover and his lieutenants retained the power to order violations. Violent beatings, which sometimes rendered the victims hospitalized or killed. So if you get a violation, that's like what they call a DP. It's the Gangster Disciples version of a DP. You fuck up, you do something wrong in the gang, you steal, they used to do it to niggas that get caught doing homosexual activities, but, that done changed a little bit. But niggas will DP you. I mean, niggas will violate you. Beat your ass. The same niggas you supposed to be having their back, you do something they don't like, they beat your ass half to death. In order to conceal the illegal activities of the gang, members were forbidden from discussing the same with law enforcement authorities under penalty of death, the papers added. In 1993, Hoover moved to further fill his pockets as chairman by instituting what was called 1 day a week, or Nation Dope. Wow. 1 day a week, 1 day each week, everyone selling within the gang's territory had to sell drugs for Hoover himself, the papers say. Well, what the fuck? So, nigga, 1 day out of every week, nigga, you got to go on the corner and everything you make, you got to sell dope strictly for this nigga. Strictly for this nigga. And just know, everybody that sell dope ain't a bad person. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes it just, it's necessary. I know people say, well, you had a choice. You could have got it. Nigga, sometimes a job, you ain't getting you thinking like, nigga, I need money like tomorrow, nigga. I need money in 2 days. I ain't got time to wait 2 weeks. I'm going to look for a job in the meanwhile. But if I'm only going to make $200 and I got to wait for 2 weeks and I need $800, you know what I'm saying? Or I'm going to be out on the streets. Nigga, I'm about to sell this dope. Fucking crackheads walking up and down here all fucking day. They don't care who got the crack. Now, when the gangs run the territories and you got niggas like Larry Hoover telling you, hey, nigga, you better, you got to sell dope for me 1 time a week. I would have been a nigga I would have been dead as a motherfucker. I ain't lying. I'd have been dead as a motherfucker. Or I just wouldn't have sold dope at all. So anyway, Hoover estimated that this would net him $200,000 to $300,000 each week. This nigga would make $300,000 in a week by making every nigga work for him for a day. And that's on top of paying your taxes that you already got to pay the gang. He's extorting the fuck out these niggas. He thought there might be some resistance to Nation Dope, so he instructed the directors to put the word out that anyone refusing to sell Nation Dope would be shot. You refuse to sell my shit, bitch, you gonna get shot. The papers add Hoover's analysis was simple. 1 day a week ain't much to ask for your life. 1 day a week ain't much to ask for your life. Because prison phone calls were recorded, Hoover had, and this is before cell phones, y'all. This is before all of that shit. Yeah, no Bloods, no Crips in Chicago, period. They made sure of that. So back then, y'all got to realize, before these cell phones and, before niggas was hip to what the FBI be doing and shit to have you hemmed up the way they do. They used to talk on them prison phones without really knowing the consequences of it. So because prison phone calls were recorded, Hoover had his directors meet him in person at whatever state facility he was at the time. State authorities sought to make that more difficult by transferring him to a prison in a far corner of Illinois. The director still made the 6-hour drive from Chicago. So niggas was coming to see that nigga from wherever he was at. Federal prosecutors secured a warrant to place a transmitter in the visitor's badge.
That one is smart.
For your
You
patronage.
have smart ones and you have some that aren't quite so good.
Look
Shout
at
out
my
to him, Lehman,
African
for that
American
$5
over here.
challenge.
Look at him.
Hit that $5 challenge. Show a little love with that $5 challenge. I appreciate you, Lehman. So they tried to put this nigga in a place in Illinois where it'd be hard for people to come and see him. And they do that in Georgia too. Fuck around and you be too powerful in Atlanta, they'll send your ass damn near to Alabama somewhere, damn near to Florida somewhere. That's what they try to do because they got to keep you in the state. So probably the reason that the feds came in so they could send a nigga wherever they want to in the country. So federal prosecutors secured a warrant to place a transfer. So they bugged where they bugged the visitation room pretty much, y'all. Think about it. They bugged the visitation room. Federal prosecutors secured a warrant to place the transmitter in the visitor's badge given to one of the gang leaders who met with Hoover. The government was thus able to monitor the conversation of the gang's inner leadership for 6 weeks until the transmitter was discovered. Ooh. Imagine a nigga coming to the prison every day and y'all niggas talking about everything face to face. Then you realize that the badge that the police been giving you to come in, they had a fucking wire in that bitch. They done heard everything you done did. There's no cell phones, people. You can't say you didn't do it if it's on video. You every hit you putting out, every drug sale, all this shit about nigga, y'all gotta do a Larry Hoover Day, a Nation Day, pay me, and this man taking all the money. This ain't no uniting our black people. This nigga was extorting the black people. Niggas out there trying to sell dope just to feed their family and all that. He extorting the shit out there. That's the real nigga shit. Niggas getting shot in the head 6 times because they don't want to do a Nation Day. See, King David is who I learned about. And we're going to get into that in a second. They about to start talking about the co-founder, King David. Shout out to Steady
That one is
Thank you
smart.
for your
You have
patronage.
smart ones and you have some that aren't quite so good.
Look at my African American over here. Look at him.
All right. So the government thus was able to monitor the conversations of the gang's inner relationship for 6 weeks until the transmitter was discovered, the papers reported. With the recordings and witnesses, the feds were able to indict Hoover and the gang's top leadership for running a continuing criminal enterprise. He was convicted in 1997 and sentenced to 6 life terms. Which, in 2025, President Donald Trump said, hey, you know what? Fuck all that shit y'all heard on that goddamn, on that wiretap about this nigga extorting all those niggas, got all those niggas killing each other and all that. Get that nigga out of here. Shit, maybe he could get some more niggas killed. You know what I mean? So everything that he got for that Fed sentence, y'all, it wasn't he got over punished. They heard every single murder he was responsible for. They heard every fucking drug deal he was responsible for. They heard every extortion that he was responsible for. I'm just saying. He was caught red-handed. Literally. Well, blue-handed, whatever color they represent. So, they convicted him, gave that man 6 life sentences. Because of Hoover's iron grip on the GDs, which lasted for a couple of decades, many communities in Chicago were ravaged with drugs and gang violence. So at this point in time, in 1997, after this nigga done sat around here and sold all this dope, he got all these niggas killing each other for territory, killing each other. The violence is going rapid. It's chaos. How old is he in 1997? He was 18 in 1968, 78, 88, 98. This man was 39 years old. He was damn near the age I am right now. He was damn near, he was old enough to know better. Right? He damn near the age I am right now. Getting people killed, murdered, destroying, just wrecking chaos in the black community. Just tearing it up. All these crack babies we dealing with now, all these coke babies and these little niggas running around with all these goddamn sticks shooting up shit. We dealing with the kids of the crackheads that got served by niggas like this. And I don't dislike, you know what I'm saying, Larry Hoover. I'm just calling it how it is. I'm hoping niggas don't try to come and get me for just calling it how it is. That's what what the white folks are saying. Right? No, you good, King George. Because of Hoover's, okay, we already read that part. Oh, y'all, so the Tiger King, he like, man, when you go pardon me, Trump? Why Trump doing the Lion King like, I said the Lion King. Why Trump doing the Tiger King like that, y'all? Why that nigga was funny as fuck, I ain't gonna lie. He gonna free that nigga. He gonna free him when right before he get out of office. Hoover destroyed neighborhoods and lives, including minors who were conscripted into his gang. He ordered murders to maintain discipline within the gang, control territory where his gang sold drugs. He negotiated with the gang's narcotics suppliers and implemented a system to ensure that the profits from drug trafficking flowed up the ranks to his pockets. And Hoover did all this from state prison. That man made a lot of money in prison, y'all. Y'all know when that ended, though? See, up till he was 40 years old, that nigga was eating hand over fist. He just dragging the shit out of the black community. Until the Fed snatched his ass up and gave him that 6 life sentence, and they sent his ass out there to Colorado. I was gonna say that Hustle Westbrook, but you could say that. I didn't want to say that on my platform. Yeah, but you got a point there, Hustle Westbrook. But they had to send his ass out there to that Supermax prison where he can't run the game within the prison, and then all of that faded away. He no longer is making all that money he was making back then. That money done started drying up. Now the nigga done found God. Now he done found God. After 50 years of that shit. Well, after 30 years, because when he went in 1997, it's probably 98, somewhere around there. It's probably when he went to the Supermax prison. So yeah, after they sent him there, oh yeah, it wasn't no more of that running the shit from the prison. You can run some shit from a state prison, but if they send your ass out to that Supermax prison in Colorado, you ain't running shit. You ain't talking to nobody for 23 hours a day. So it ended when Hoover was co-signed to the U.S. Supermax prison, AD Max Florence in Colorado. he was in perpetual solitary confinement and cut off from any direct communication with the gang. The GD splintered into a myriad fractions without him. So everything split up without him. Hoover declared himself reformed, saying that GD now stood for growth and development. Prosecutors dismissed it as a scam. 2 judges held that federal sentence should stand as imposed, and Hoover remained inmate 8063-024 in AKADEMIKS prison. To the extent any one person can deter another to commit crimes, Hoover's life imprisonment symbolically demonstrates that the rule of law reaches even those in power who seem untouchable. So, but as measured by myth, Hoover remained as big as ever. Larry Hoover is still a symbolic figure nationally within the world of street gangs. Federal prosecutors said in court papers, nearly every gang member in Chicago, even if they were not born during Larry Hoover's reign, knows his name. He's the famous chairman of the Gangster Disciples. The GD emblem is a 6-pointed star, and West was almost certainly making reference to both the gang and Hoover in the 2021 song Pure Soul. Always had mob ties, stood on my 6 points. How could I not rise? And for all the guys that went to the White House and said, free the old man. And Kanye probably, you know, no telling what Kanye got going on. He's from Chicago. He probably has family members. No telling, he might be, you know, affiliated some type of way, or he might be protected in some type of way. Of course, a lot of people are protected by these people. Hell, I believe that Rick Ross, at one point a couple of years ago, was checked by some GDs, you know, because of some stuff that he did, and using Larry Hoover name into the song without permission. So, and he didn't break bread. So, some 70,000 attend the event, went global when Amazon screened it on Prime Video and Prime Amazon Music app and Amazon Music Twitch channel to benefit the man. AKADEMIKS has become the first content stream on IMAX theaters. Trump returned to the White House this year in part by stroking fears of what he describes as invading herd of violent migrants among the gang members he describes as the worst of the worst. But on Wednesday, Trump's recent binge of pardons and commutations extended from various MAGA white-collar criminals to a man who ran an all-American gang as large, as vicious as the MS-13 or Trey D or Guerrero, wherever that's called, whatever kind of MS-13 pretty much. The gang leader, whose name had come up during a zany Oval Office meeting with Kanye West 7 years ago, received a commuted sentence. Hoover still faces more than a century behind bars on a state murder conviction over which Trump has no power. But the commutation of this federal sentence imparts a message that prosecutors warned Hoover's bid for a sentence reduction 5 years ago would have sent if successful. Okay. The lesson to gang members today will be that there is no need for fear federal prosecution or prospects of life sentence or the prospect of a life sentence, and that federal punishment for the kinds of crimes that Hoover committed is not definite or not certain, because not even the likes of Larry Hoover, the worst of the worst, ultimately had to serve his federal life sentence. The government memo is opposed. So they're just trying to pretty much say that, man, y'all giving out the message that niggas can do this shit on a, you know, on this gangster level, on this really high level, and if y'all are not going to make people serve out their sentence, all it takes is somebody that wants some political power to down the line just say, hey, you know, let this person out because, you know, I want to get the black vote or whatever it is that they want to, you know, make of it. Like, I mean, if it's true that the man was responsible for as many bodies as he was responsible for, I mean, I think black people are definitely sleep, because the fact that y'all are always banging on a drum when it comes to, you know what I'm saying, high profile drug dealers or killers, or free this person, free him, free him. Y'all don't give a damn about how the goddamn family feel about that shit. I don't give no shits about how the family feel about that shit. But anyway, let's get to the snitch allegations, right? Because that's what y'all came here for. I know I done held y'all up for a minute. I hope y'all done hit the like button. We got, what? Let me see how many people we got in the area. We got 45 people in the area. We got 55 likes. Doing good, doing good. I appreciate everybody. I appreciate the cash apps. I appreciate the memberships. I appreciate the super chat. So next part of this presentation is we're gonna play. Now, before I tell about this part that we're about to play, right? Y'all need to understand this about Larry Hoover. I'm talking to the people who, you know, don't know much about this guy, but, you know, you've been hearing it in the news and all of that stuff like that. Now, while Larry Hoover was locked up, I don't know if it was why he was locked up. He could have did it while he wasn't locked up, but I believe while he was locked up, he made a pretty much a Bible for the Gangster Disciples, called the Book of Knowledge. It told people, it told you all the gang signs you throw up to represent. It told you about what person got killed and what words you can't say. Because I remember coming up, and my homies that were a part of that or wanted to be a part of that, niggas couldn't say donut shop. They had to say on nut shop, because they were saying there was a story that Queen Sheba, I guess she was King David girlfriend, got killed at the donut shop, so you were no longer able to say donut shop. There was a lot of rules, y'all. A lot of rules. You heard about these people like they were, you know, stories in the Bible. I'm dead serious. Like, people would tell these stories like they were stories in the Bible. You never knew what city it was going on in and none of that shit. Just the shit was passed along. So there was an influence that were coming from way from Chicago that was right there in my little old city of Brunswick, Georgia. That's how influential this guy was. Now, yeah, they got it's a couple of Black Panthers that are in that max prison. Now, during this time, you had the Black Panthers and all of the, you know, these kind of movements and stuff, you know, that were rising. He wasn't part of that. He was pretty much extorting niggas and getting niggas' head blown off and all that shit, you know, just trying to do their thing. So, oh yeah, because, you know, it's wild that the Gangster Disciples, it probably was before, like now, a lot of niggas claiming blood. But when I was coming up, a lot of niggas was claiming folk. Like, all my homeboys were folk. Like, I hung with, so what's good, Beast Mode? I love you, babe. But all my homeboys was folk. And we learned, I learned a lot of this knowledge. Like I say, even my little brother, you know what I'm saying, was part of this. And he was only part of it because he went to prison for so long. And like I say, it's more of a prison game. But anyway, let's get into the good part, man, about the snitching part. So Kevlo said that that the white boy, Kevlo jumped on my post on Facebook and said the white boy was hating on Larry Hoover. I said, what? So let's see what the white boy, a.k.a. 1090 Jake, I like 1090 Jake. 1090 Jake, in order to be a white boy and to be a blood member, you got to stand your ground, nigga. You going to have to stand on business. It ain't too many white Crips or Bloods. So you got, but in Florida, you got more white Crips or Bloods, right? So 1090 Jake is from Florida. He's from Tampa, and he's official blood. He's been in the chain gang. He's had to live by these rules. So these guys that live by their rules and all that, they feel a certain type of way when you have guys that write these books like this guy did, him and King David, which I think was his was the co-founder. You can't be a white blood. You can be a white blood. 1090 Jake, hey, that man has stood his ground on being a white blood. That man's all out there in Cali with it. That man has all the credentials. Can't take it from him, bro. That man already, he already, if he couldn't be, they would have been ran him off of that. They would have been made that man drop his flag. And if you can't be a white blood, but that man running around here talking about he a white blood, that's the problem with the gang culture right now. Y'all niggas will kill niggas all day, but then you get a white boy right there. And we can't touch the white boy. The fuck? This shit is starting to get so confusing, this gang shit, my nigga. Because this is the man that wrote the book to say, no snitching. No snitching. Now, what is snitching? Let's establish what snitching is, y'all, before we listen to this. If you are a gang member, only if you are a gang member, this does not go for regular civilians. This don't go for regular just niggas in the street, hood niggas and shit. In Florida, you can't be a white gang member. I'm telling you. I know that for sure. But anyway, let me stick to my point. If you are a gang member, if a nigga shoot you and he your op, I don't care if he not your op, but particularly if your op shoot you and you seen that nigga, it was just you and your op, broad daylight, nobody else seen it. It could be somebody else seen it, but broad daylight, your op shoot you. As a gang member, you are not supposed to identify that gang member that shot you. You're supposed to get it in the streets. Oh yeah, I know that for sure. You supposed to keep that in the streets. Same way in prison. If you get into a fight with another nigga in prison and the nigga beat your ass or whatever, he lump you up, you supposed to say you fell off your bunk. I don't care how many knots you got on your eyes. I don't care how much your lip busted, how many teeth you missing. You supposed to say, I fell off my bunk. I slipped and fell in the shower. They know you're lying, but they can't do nothing about it because you're not going to testify because that's the part, that's what you signed up for. If my op shoot me, I am not supposed to go tell the police my op name, what gang he part of, none of that shit. If I do a crime with somebody, if me and a nigga selling dope every day together and I get caught, I'm not supposed to tell on this man because me and him was doing dirt together. Now, if you're a nigga sitting on the sidewalk, you know, you play football and, you know, then some bullshit, you get wrapped up in some shit. Yeah, you're supposed to snitch. You're supposed to tell. You're a civilian. So now that we established those rules, and I'm just talking to the people who don't, you know about the gang life or street life or anything, and I'm no expert my damn self, but I've been around these type of niggas, you know, when it comes to prison and growing up and all that. I'm just not, I'm a neutron. But I definitely have friends of all flags. But let's get into this part here. Now, y'all tell me what y'all think. Now, shout out to 1090 Jake, but all he did was confirm the paperwork that's already put out there. That's all he did.
Just gave the presidential middle finger to anyone. Now, President Trump just gave the presidential middle finger to anyone who ever called him racist after not only pardoning NBA young.
I ain't gonna say that now. You can't say that Trump still not racist just because he gave a pardon to a couple of black people. This nigga didn't even know who Larry Hoover was. And I'm 100% sure he don't know who the fuck NBA Youngboy is either. All Trump knows is these niggas got bags. And these niggas got influence. NBA Youngboy, whoever his lawyer team is, they went and hollered at Trump, say, hey man, we got a little nigga that's, you know, if you let this nigga get off on this federal shit, right, and where he can go on this big ass tour, he gonna make about $100 million. How about we slide you about a good $10-15 million in your pocket personally in some cryptocurrency? And this is all just Earz. This is my opinion. How about we slide about $10, $15, $20 million in your pocket? All you gotta do is just, you know, sign away that little bit of shit. He did it for Kodak. You see how Kodak got out of that? And look at Kodak out here. NBA young boy, get him out of that. He'll be back. That's probably what they're saying anyway. Yeah, he wants the support of his audience. You damn right I'll do it. Cool nigga talking about, would you do that if you was president? Is you goddamn right, nigga. All these niggas, if you want your freedom, nigga, you better pay for it. If I was the president, if I was the governor, yes, a nigga would be able to bring me a bag to goddamn get them a pardon or give them a, you know, the commute they sentence. I'ma just keep it real. I'ma keep it real. Matter of fact, everybody in the chat, y'all, yes or no? Would you, if you was the president, would you pardon people for a bag? Would you pardon a murderer for a bag if he murdered somebody 50 years ago? I would. Fuck it.
Young boy who's about to go on a mega tour, but commuting the sentence of thee.
Damn, every time I take my eye off, I'm about to take my eye off this motherfucker, a commercial want to come up. But shout out to 1090 Jake though, man, because one thing about 1090 Jake, I've seen a lot of people go over this video and he don't be out there flagging niggas for using his content and nothing like that. That man got 1 million subscribers. He don't, you know what I'm saying? And he don't act like a crab with his content. Shout out to 1090 Jake, man. He makes great content. Niggas just be hating on 1090 Jake. Just for the sole reason he a white boy.
Hoover.
His name is Larry Hoover. He's the reputed leader of the Black Gangster Disciple street gang, one of the largest in the nation. For 20 years, he's been locked behind prison walls because of a murder conviction. This week, he goes before the state parole board and he could soon be a free man.
Hell yeah, depending on what you do. Shit, mine's starting at 5 million, my nigga. If you just got like some money laundering or some shit like that or whatever, yeah, I get you out of 5. Now, if you got some shit like Larry Hoover, shit. But I would have let Larry Hoover out for about a cool, I say about 15. I'd let him out for a cool little 15, maybe 20. You know what I mean?
Done my time. I paid my debt to society.
Now, that's some narcissistic shit right there. This man said he done his time and he paid his debt to society. You cannot say you paid your debt to society if multiple people lost their life to you. If one person lost their life to you, I can say probably after about 25 years, you can give a person a redemption at their life. If you took a person's life intentionally, maliciously, if you proven some correction over 25 years, I can agree with that. But if you killed multiple people, you got to understand, bro. These are multiple families that had to deal with this for decades. You know what I mean? Niggas go to playing victim after they done been in prison or whatever. That person you killed, they ain't coming back. You get to come back. You get to, you know what I'm saying? Imagine if you only get to die for 30 years and then you get to come back. No. I don't know. Puffy talked a lot of shit about Trump. I found a video where Puffy was talking mad shit about Trump, calling him all type of shit. I don't think there's enough bread that's gonna get Puffy out of that. Or if he do let Puffy out of that shit, he gonna tax the shit. Puffy gonna have to pay about 100. I ain't lying. If he fuck with Puffy, Puffy gonna have to pay about 100. You said 50 mil? Yeah, he gonna have to pay about 100 to get that part.
Anytime you do a extensive amount of time, it can have two effects. It can harden you, or it can make you think.
Yeah, nigga, because at this point, y'all, right now when he's doing this interview, this is in 1997. This is right before he got those 6 life sentences from the feds, but he was already serving 150 to 200 years. This is already what he went in 73, so 97. So right now he's already done served 22 years in prison. But that whole time, he was running the drug organization, according to the people. They had it on video. They had him on video. You can't say they lied on you. So even when they had this man, when he had 150 years and he had a possibility of parole in 2025 and all that shit, he still was running the organization. And he was running it so efficiently, making $100 million a year, getting people killed on the streets, fucking up the black community, selling all type of dope, got all the people, everybody fucked up. And right now, he's on camera right now, acting like a victim. I served my debt to society. I did 20 years. I mean, I killed 2 niggas. I had 2 niggas shot in the head a total of 14 times, because the first nigga got shot in the head 6 times. The other nigga, don't tell her how many times he got shot in the head, because he just disappeared. So they ain't even find him. He ain't even get charged for the other nigga that disappeared. And then the other nigga got shot in the head 6 times. Shot in the chest 2 times. He lived. And then they shot the nigga in the head 2 more times to kill him before trial. So, I mean, I'm just saying, I ain't trying to say not free Larry Hoover, but god damn, you responsible for a nigga getting shot, for niggas getting shot in the head 16 times? I mean, did you pay your debt to society? Maybe we should ask them niggas that got the fucking, maybe we should ask dude that got the 8 bullets in his head. I wonder if that guy got a son or a daughter. That's who we should be asking. Do you think this nigga served his debt to society? The people who had to wake up that day and find out that their son, their brother, their father was shot in the head 6 times, thrown in the back of the alley, shot in the head 6 times, shot in the head in the chest 2 times, lived, and just because you wanted to, you know, not go to prison, you end up shooting them in the head 2 more times, make sure they don't live. No remorse for life. I'm just saying. Oh yeah, it's a distraction about him closing them Job Corps. And the nigga fucking up my shit too. I gotta show y'all how Trump is fucking up my industry. He's fucking up the unions. But we'll get into that later. But that's why I say, you know, like, yeah, everything sounds good when you're rapping about it and all that, but you have to think about it from a perspective of, what if that was your loved one? What if that was your family member that got shot in the head 6 times, and then because the motherfucker didn't want you to testify on, they shoot you in the head 2 more damn times to kill you, to off you, make you disappear? What if it was your daddy that was made disappear by this motherfucker because he wanted everybody on the block to hustle for him all day? Imagine you being a dope boy. Bruh, I done sold dope. Dope is hard to sell. I ain't gonna say it's hard to sell, but you gotta grind the same way you gotta grind when you go to work for somebody at McDonald's or whatever. You gotta hustle. You gotta, you know what I'm saying? You gotta catch those plays and all that shit like that. Imagine being on the block all fucking day and you gotta give all your money to a nigga locked up, or you gonna get shot. I'm just saying.
And I've thought.
Now, for those that don't know, Larry Hoover is the founder and former leader of the Gangster Disciples, a major street gang based in Chicago that spread from the Midwest, dominating parts of the South, and even reaching out to the Northeast. To this day, many prominent rappers are members of the Gangster Disciples, while other rappers have been known sworn enemies to the Gangster Disciples.
Exactly. Now think about how many lives that includes. How many lives have been lost? Because he was 40 years old. He hadn't learned this lesson when he was damn near 40 years old. Until they sent his ass to that Supermax prison, that motherfucker ain't learned his lesson. He ain't sorry. He's sorry he got caught.
Larry Hoover, a kingpin.
Ooh, shit. Boy, imagine a day when, boy, a hairstyle like that used to be the shit. Hey, boy, niggas out here with the dreads and the motherfucking goddamn bootsy face and mohawks, man. I'm talking about over time, nigga, them hairstyles be changing. Boy, this nigga was... Hey, could you imagine a nigga like this being the leader of your gang? A nigga like this being the nigga to not to fuck with? You would think it'd be some big ass nigga, you know, a bald headed nigga or some shit. These niggas was out here gang banging looking like this, bruh. Was dead ass serious with it.
Gang lord, murderer, is a man whose name has held power for over 50 years. But today, his legacy is in question as the unthinkable has happened. Remo from No Jumper would post to Instagram a photo of what appears to be prehistoric paperwork.
Now pay attention to what 1090 Jake just said. 1090 Jake was not the first person to break this story. The dude from No Jumper, Remo from No Jumper, was the first one to put this paperwork out. But being that 1090 Jake has the big platform, being that 1090 Jake, you know, did a little deeper research and his voice goes further, everybody mad at 1090 Jake and want to blame him for this shit. And that's fucked up.
Detailing a shooting in which Larry Hoover himself was the victim.
Now, remember when I told y'all to keep in mind about that Parker High School, that Francis Parker High School incident? Now, what we had read earlier, it said that he shot somebody. But now, this is about to say that Larry Hoover was the one that got shot. Either way it go, one of these niggas told on each other. But it turns out that Larry Hoover was the one that got shot. So this is a true story. And I went and I did a little I did a Google search on it, and I think I found an article similar to it. So everybody pay attention to this part that's about to happen right now. In case you were just bullshitting off a little bit and then dozed off a little bit. Pay attention right now, everybody. This is a 1968 article in the Chicago Tribune telling about the shooting where Larry Hoover was shot by a rival gang member. Shout out Darren Walker. Pay attention to this part right here.
Parker High School sat in the Inglewood neighborhood on the south side of Chicago. On September 4th, 1968, it was the first day of school, and it would be turned to a crime scene. Leader of the Supreme Gangsters, 18-year-old Larry Hoover, informed the police that he was standing in the school hall just outside the principal's office when two Odin.
Now, did y'all hear what he said? The leader of the Supreme Gangsters. This was before he even made the Gangster Disciples. This is before he decided to make it. He found a cool name to make his game. So he was a young gangster. He was only 18. He was still in school. Most gangsters don't stay in school till 18. I'm just saying, what other gangsters y'all know? Like gang members, niggas running shit, was in school at 18. Even back then. Like, usually niggas like, man, I quit school, nigga, and started running the streets. This was a smart nigga. I think the streets got tricked by a smart nigga, bro. And look at this nigga here. This nigga was running around really like that.
He was standing in the school hall just outside the... Leader of the Supreme Gangsters, 18-year-old Larry Hoover, informed the police that he was standing in the school hall just outside the principal's office when two members of the Eastside Disciples appeared. They were identified as 18-year-old James Highsmith and 20-year-old Leonard Longstreet.
Now, the two guys that end up shooting this man at his own school, they still have the paperwork. See, date, May the 12th, 1967, Department 9th District. This nigga looked like he was up to some no good. Now, that's what I would expect, you know what I'm saying, a street nigga, you know what I'm saying, to look like. And this little nigga here, is this nigga the trigger man? These niggas look like they was up to no good. But these was some skinny niggas though.
And they did not go to Parker High. Hoover told Leonard they were identified as 18-year-old James Highsmith and 20-year-old Leonard Longstreet, and they did not go to Parker High. Hoover told police the two walked past me in the hall, and Highsmith smiled. Then Longstreet said, "Burn him," and Highsmith pulled a gun and started shooting.
Now that's some gangster shit. It's some ignorant shit. But the nigga Larry Hoover is supposed to be that nigga. But niggas back then, they were like, shit, nigga, you ain't nobody. Nigga came to your school, smiled like, nigga, burn that nigga. And another nigga just did it. Them niggas, boy, them niggas is reckless, boy.
Told police the two walked past me in the hall, and Highsmith smiled. Then Longstreet said, "Burn him," and Highsmith pulled a gun and started shooting. I got hit. Larry Hoover, the 18-year-old leader of the Supreme Gangsters that came before the Gangster Disciples' creation, flat out told the police two rival gang members entered his school and shot him. Bullets struck two other students, both 15 years old. Larry and the two others were all shot in the legs and rushed to a hospital. Only minutes after the shooting, police...
All right, let me read some of this my damn stuff, y'all. So, being that this is a 1968 newspaper article, and let me ask the audience this. Is it believable that is a 1968 newspaper article? These folks wasn't lying. All they doing is telling what this man told the police. He said, Hoover related that the two walked past me in the hall and Highsmith smiled. He knew these guys' name and everything. Then Longstreet said, "Burn them." Highsmith pulled their gun and started shooting. I got hit. Bullets also struck two bystanders, blah, blah, blah. But would they have caught these guys? They probably would have caught them because of the other kids or whatever. But he didn't, like, according to the code, you ain't even supposed to give a statement.
Police arrested the two gang members who were out on bond for two separate shootings. A Cook County grand jury would indict the two men on charges of aggravated battery on Larry Hoover. Now this is going to piss a lot of people off, but before I do that, I wanted to confirm whether this was even true, because this didn't seem to be an arrest report, This looked like a newspaper clipping.
And see, a lot of people be trying to throw that little jacket on 1090 Jake or whatever. The man ain't even saying, like, he ain't said nothing negative, and he just explaining the situation.
Well, I dug into the Chicago Tribune dating back 57 years ago, and what I found was page 14 of the Chicago Tribune from September 5th, 1968.
Exactly. So when somebody go and do their research, the man went all the way back into the Chicago Tribune to go make sure that this is a real article. Nobody knew in this back then that, hey, 2025, man, nah, you gotta have all paperwork. You gotta have a nigga on the stand. You gotta have this. No, nigga, these folks were just telling what happened. He wasn't the big Larry Hoover back then as he is now. They just telling about a gang robbery. Somebody shooting at school. Imagine if that happened right now. Niggas will lose their motherfucking mind. Oh, these kids are starting to bring guns to school. They been doing that shit. Why now, though? I don't know why now, though. But that's the wrong question. Is it a lie? Is it a lie? No. So whether it's, oh, why now? Well, because they just let his ass back on the street and they want to let y'all know what type of nigga this is. Because back then they couldn't let y'all know. Hey, y'all know this nigga that y'all praising the snitch. We ain't had the internet. You couldn't spread that. The police couldn't spread that around. Now they just letting y'all know. Hey, y'all know that nigga y'all praising? Yeah. Since Trump want to let the nigga free, they throwing his ass to the wolves. They was really protecting the nigga, to be honest. Yeah, they probably did already know. But who gave a fuck? Just like I don't give a fuck when people be like, why now? Okay, all right, yeah, I asked that question too, why now? But then I asked the question, well, is it a lie? Is it the truth? Yes, it's the truth. So who cares when it came out? I mean, when it happened. Because what I think the problem is, what a lot of people are starting to realize is, if you've been living by a code that a nigga wrote 57 years ago, and you realize that the nigga that wrote the code wasn't even like that. You know how many niggas is doing time right now by going off a code of a nigga that ain't even like that his damn self? Like, you gotta feel some type of way. That's like all your life your mama telling you, you know what I'm saying, telling you don't do drugs, and your mama taught you your whole life. And then you walk in and she got a whole fucking plate. You know what I mean? Like, do you know how, bruh, this shit is gotta be hurting a lot of gang members right now. And I think, and a lot of niggas done jumped on my Facebook page, and I can kind of feel like a lot of niggas feel a little hit. They feel a little hurt by this shit, bro. A lot of niggas are hurt because they done made this man they done made this man like a god. It's the same shit that they did to Big Meech. You know, same shit they did to BG. And everybody say the same shit. Why y'all saying something now? Why you saying something now? Y'all would have waited till we fall in love. They want to wait till you fall in love with these motherfucking mythical figures, street niggas, and then drop a bomb on your ass later on. Yeah, you know that nigga you like, a snitch, right? They did BG like that, right? BG done did 13 long years. BJ done did, man, BG done been out here the fucking prototype street nigga. Soon as he disagree with a nigga, and they take their protection shield off of you. You find out what he did. A lot of niggas want to say, oh, well, no, they ain't snitching. No. If it was a regular nigga, it's snitching. But it's selective politics out here. That's one of the main points I'm trying to make right now. I ain't trying to diss nobody. I ain't trying to diss Larry Hoover. You know, if he get out, he get out. If he don't, he don't. I don't give a shit. Doesn't bother me. Just talking about it. And I'm making a huge point, you know, hoping it don't fly over too many people's head. But it's like a lot of people, we especially black people, we suffer from just worrying about the wrong shit. Like I see so many people, man, I'm so glad Larry Hoover out. And that shows you that they ain't even do the research they damn self and find out the man ain't out. Just another little, you know, pony trick. Same way they did with Big Meech. Oh, Big Meech shot, man. Big Meech shot. Nigga be out for a week. Oh, that nigga a snitch. They want to put you way up here so your ass gonna have a father to fall down. Yeah, that nigga a snitch. Which I don't know. You never know, man. But these niggas do some questionable shit. And what we do know about anybody, ain't nobody trying to sit down and do no motherfucking 100 years. You think they won't throw somebody else to the wolves? That man got shot. He was 18 years old. Shit got real. And obviously them niggas that came and shot him, those was the gangsters. Them niggas was already out on bail for shooting other niggas. So he knew them niggas, and any of the motherfucker that'll come to your school right in front of your principal office and shoot your ass. Those some niggas you need to be scared of. And Larry Hoover was scared of them niggas. That's why he told the police, hey, it was him, yup, that was them niggas that shot me, man. Yeah. Now, if that man would have did anybody else, if anybody right now would do that, nigga would get rid of you right now. Y'all know what I mean. Or at least they'll destroy your reputation.
The day after the shooting. The article was titled Tribune from September 5th, paper clipping. So I dug into the Chicago Tribune dating back 57 years ago, and what I found was page 14 of the Chicago Tribune from September 5th, 1968, the day after the shooting. The article was titled Police Arrest 2 in Shooting of 3 Students, Gang Rivalry Blamed for Violence. 3 youths were shot down in Parker High School in what police described as a continuing battle between rival street gangs. Inglewood police said the shooters were identified by the victims in the hospital and several other witnesses. The police identified Larry Hoover as a gang member, and again, the article would state Hoover told police who shot him and how it happened. Now this
Now, that shit is heartbreaking to a lot of people, man. Man, it was 50-something years ago. I don't give a shit. This the nigga that wrote the book. So, niggas are still, and you'll still have niggas say, I gotta go by the code. If the nigga that wrote the book is letting your dumb ass know, no, nigga, that's just a way for me to get off. I'ma make a code where you never snitch on me. But bitch, if I ever get to snitch, bitch, you gone. You out of here. That's how the game is, y'all. Black people been getting tricked for a long time by our own fucking kind, man. And you got a lot of gatekeepers right now that even wanna, even when you see some shit plain as day in your face, it's a lot of gatekeepers right now that'll tell you, nigga, you better not see what you just saw with your own 2 eyes.
This would be considered snitching by anyone following the quote-unquote code. But what about the one who created the code? This was Larry fucking Hoover, the founder of the Gangster Disciples, a man whose name is at the top of Chicago gang lore along with Al Capone. And this wasn't the last time he'd be mentioned in a newspaper. 2 years later, it was 1970, and Hoover was one of 3 arrested for gunning down a 19-year-old on 69th. 3 years after that, a 24-year-old was kidnapped and shot to death. Hoover would be picked up on a murder warrant, and a week later, a witness set to testify against Hoover was found dead on the south side with 2 holes in the back of his head.
Now, those are the 2 cases that we had just read about. Remember when I was reading the article, the other stuff where it was telling about the people who were suspected of stealing drugs? They kidnapped one guy, shot him in the head 6 times. Another guy disappeared. So now after a nigga shot him and he done told him, now he just a beast now. You know, he done turned up. Now he kidnapping niggas and doing all kind of shit. Not knowing, and these niggas don't know, hey, if a nigga shoot at this nigga, he going to the police. But he out here, you know, doing his thing.
It was too late though. The 26-year-old had already given a deposition to police stating he witnessed Hoover and another man kidnap the victim the day before the victim was murdered.
Step into WIC's.
My bad. Had myself on mute for a second. I'm glad I noticed. So he kidnapped, I'm going to rewind that back a little bit. So there's a witness of somebody seeing you kidnap somebody the day before they come up dead. Now somebody snitching on you after you done snitched on the dude that shot you. And you probably snitched. That's probably only how you was able to become, you know, not saying like nothing negative, but wouldn't that would have got all, like your rivals off the streets if you put them in jail? Now you out here running shit because you put your rivals in jail? I'm just saying, like, I'm just saying what's real. Like I ain't covering for nobody. I ain't on nobody's side. I'm just calling it down the middle.
Side with 2 holes in the back of his head. It was too late, and a week later, a witness said Hoover was one of 3 arrests along with Al Capone. And this wasn't the last time he'd be mentioned in a newspaper.
What up, Musa,
2
bro?
years later, it was 1970, and Hoover was one of 3 arrested for gunning down a 19-year-old on 69th.
Gunning down a 19-year-old. Who out here got a 19-year-old or somewhere close to it? And if he was out there, you know, just getting into some selling drugs and doing some gang banging, you still don't want your son gunned down. This man still living right now. Say, man, I did my time, man. I did that, but, you know, I done did enough time for that. And shit, not if that was my son. Hell no, you ain't did enough time. That's what I would be saying if that was my relative. If that was my daddy. Say he had just had a child himself. Hell, usually niggas have a child or 2 by 19. I know I did. So, I mean, you got to think of it, like a lot of people want to think of it from the gangster perspective, but you got to think of it from the civilian perspective too. The people who lost their loved ones. How would they feel?
3 years after that, a 24-year-old was kidnapped and shot to death. Hoover would be picked up on a murder warrant, and a week later, a witness set to testify against Hoover was found dead on the south side with 2 holes in the back of his head. It was too late though. The 26-year-old had already given a deposition to police stating he witnessed Hoover and another man kidnap the victim the day before the victim was murdered. They dump his body in an alley, allegedly because he was suspected of stealing drugs from the gang's supply. This murder was what took Larry Hoover off the streets of Chicago at the age of 23. Deemed a ruthless killer who'd been involved in multiple shootings and murders, Hoover was sentenced to 200 years in state prison. While inside, Hoover continued to lead the Gangster Disciples, which led to a 17-year federal investigation. In 1995, Hoover was indicted by the feds from state prison and 2 years later sentenced to 6 federal life sentences for conspiracy, extortion, money laundering, drugs, and continuing to engage in a criminal enterprise.
Now, everybody knows the feds ain't coming to get you unless they got your ass red-handed, pants down, fucked up, right? I just read that paperwork to y'all that said they had put a bug in the one of the badges, and they was recording everything that Larry Hoover was talking with his lieutenants and his captains and all that stuff like that. So there was no doubt that he was running the gang from inside the prison. Yeah, it could be cool. You could love it. All that shit like that. That's cool. I'm not saying you can't like it. I'm not saying whatever it is you think about it, cool. I'm just saying that's the facts. They had the man red-handed in prison, running a gang, multiple people dying, fucking up the black community. 20 years you done been down in prison. You showed no remorse for the people that you killed. The black community is destroying itself in Chicago. For 20 years, the feds had to come in and say, you know what, nigga, we gonna give you 6 life sentences and we gonna put you away from Illinois somewhere where you can't continue to create, you know, the destroy the black community or destroy a community, period. But they said he was starting to better himself, starting to do better for himself and all that. Now, that didn't start till after 1990. So within this 2000, up from 2000 to 2025, that's 25 years. You can definitely make a change within the next 20 years. But when that man was 40 years old, he wasn't changing shit no time soon. Now, if he wouldn't have went to the ADX max prison in Colorado, now he might got a little different, you know, perspective for things. You sit a nigga down, really sit a nigga down for 25 years, yeah, nigga really want to do something different. You definitely want to start doing something different. So it starts becoming political, and you know they changed the name to from Gangster Disciple to Growth and Development, and it's kind of like rebranded, and that's cool. That's just like with the Crips, you know, they want to make, you know, they're trying to do that with that, you know, everybody trying to rebrand the gangs and all that. But the thing about it, you got to leave the violence out. I would be more than willing to, you know, be a part of an organization if I felt like it was really something that really had my best interest. But if you just going to beat up on me and kill me and use me and extort me, nigga, that ain't no, you know what I'm saying, that ain't no brotherhood. That ain't good for the community. If I can't go to school without getting shot at,
Larry Hoover ran the Illinois state prison system like a Gangster Disciple warden. So the feds took him where he'd be helpless, stripping him of all power. In prison since 1973, Hoover spent nearly 30 years at ADX Florence.
Now remember what they said. He stayed in prison. He's been in ADX Florence for 30 years, but he was 20 years in the state prison. If he would have just stayed on his best behavior and not be the fucking kingpin boss he was, and I mean, I know that's hard to say because he in one of the most violent cities, you know what I'm saying, in this country. But let's just say he wasn't running the prison like, you know, and he would have just found some kind of, if he would have just did the positive thing, right? Like everybody's saying. He probably would be getting out right now altogether. He wouldn't have got the 6 life sentences. Because after 50 years, you know, if he was actually for those 20 years. But, like I say, he could have been doing the right thing, but they could have politicized it. I don't know. You decide that on your own. I'm not telling y'all what to think. I'm just calling out what you have the proof of, the facts. There might be facts in his favor. We don't know this. But if them folks had you goddamn if them folks proved you was guilty of killing those 3 people and you're admitting that yourself, there's really nothing that we can do and say, hey, this man is innocent. He should be free. Nah, because I got to think of it if it was my loved one. He probably a great person. He probably a smart dude. Very influential, but hey, we're in a society where, you know, like, y'all niggas giving people too much power. I ain't saying y'all, but I'm saying people are getting too much power from the people of just like, I don't know what about a killer or what about people who destroy the black community even when they get the power. And yeah, they go and sit their ass down for 20 years and people will give them all the power of everything. It's starting to get a little confusing right now. And yeah, these folks just set a fat trap for his ass. Yeah, they let him out of the federal prison system, throw him in the state prison system where it's much more violent, and then throw a fucking rat jacket over that nigga back. But they ain't lying. It's just something that they knew the whole time that you did. Same shit that came out with Meech. And it kind of show you that y'all think that this, the gangster and the dope life and shit is invincible and that you can point at that one guy that got away. What about that one guy that got away? Then you find out they really didn't get away. They just played the game a little different.
The federal supermax. His neighbors would be terrorists, mass killers, and cartel leaders. His cell could only hold 1 man. A shower would be brought to his cell, and his mail would be seen through a screen as physically touching it was too much of a privilege. Larry Hoover, for the last 30 years, has been in a cold concrete hell until now.
So, at the least, y'all, he in a way more comfortable place than he was. So even if he ain't getting free, compared to what he was, Trump damn near just freed him. Cause now he'll at least be able to go outside, get some fresh air. Probably, you know, read in a real library. It's definitely gonna be a big difference.
Trump commuted the sentence of Larry Hoover, which led many to believe Hoover was going to be a free man. But many fail to realize Hoover was serving 200 years before the feds stepped in, and he has to finish it. A bittersweet victory for those that know him, as he's one step closer to home, being now that he'll be back in Illinois. But at 78 years old, it isn't known how long he has to continue fighting for his freedom. One would assume he'd be treated like a god in Illinois State Prison. The man is a Chicago legend, but one can also wonder, why is it always when someone's about to be released, paperwork comes out of nowhere?
And see, the fact that I heard 1090 Jake say that, and I'm gonna stop this video right here, and that people are still trying to blame it on him. Oh, he's saying that that man is snitch. He did it, and the man asks the same question everybody else asks. Why in the fuck did y'all drop this paperwork now when y'all could have dropped this shit so long ago? And the only thing you can really think of, well, the only thing, there's a couple of things that I think of, but one of the main things that I think of, right, and it's just me, y'all know I think weird sometimes. I think that they wanted all those niggas to praise this and listen to these codes. They let that nigga do his thing for a long ass time. 20 years, you telling me the feds ain't know about that shit the whole damn time? But when he tried to go into politics, that's when they had to, you know, clip his wings. I get that part. But they let, as long as he was willing to destroy the black community, they let that nigga rock out. Nah, now you trying to do a little extra and shit. Now you trying to build your own gang. Nah, we ain't gonna let you build your own gang. Not up under our watch. We'll let y'all niggas kill each other all you want to. And I think they were really willing to let him do that until he tried to step into their territory. And it got a little tricky there. So, hey, but you know, there's gonna be people who's gonna always defend it, you know, and just like, because, like I say, it's very disappointing to know that a person that you looked up to, a person that people's been changing their life. Oh, I ain't gonna snitch. I'm gonna be like Larry Hoover, Big Meech, Larry Hoover, and both of these niggas done got out, and it ain't been what we've been thinking it is. So before I get off of this topic, though, of course I gotta go to WACK 100's response, and I know y'all like, okay, why are you doing that? Because WACK has a loud voice, believe it or not, and I want y'all to see how far people will go to defend somebody once they done already been defending them. They can't go back because they feel like it will, you know, fuck up their credibility. So, and then we're gonna jump into another video speaking on WACK, because he got we got to get into this Nipsy Hussle thing. And that's going to be related to WACK 102, and a guy actually coming up to confirm what he was saying about the Nipsey Hussle situation, and a little deeper dig into it. And I know people are like, well, damn, why he going at Nipsey? I mean, you can't be saying people going at somebody just because they're exposing real paperwork or just because they're exposing what's really true. So, we're just going to talk about it. So, let me go over here and find this. Okay, here it is. So, WACK going off about this Larry Hoover paperwork because, see, WACK done been co-signing this shit for a long time. Okay, Clubhouse TV, that's what that is. So now WACK, it seemed like WACK done already, WACK end up going to get the dude that ended up shot Larry Hoover. And I kind of had a feeling that that was gonna happen. So let's see. Let's listen in on a little bit of that. Well, also I don't trust all of this nigga word though, as far as WACK, cause WACK slick. If he put some money behind it, nigga, he gonna try to clean that shit up. So he ain't gonna always keep it 100. I mean, I just, hey, ain't nothing personal. I'm just saying. But if he got a campaign behind some shit, boy, he gonna make sure he go all in on it. So let's check out his response of what's really going on, and some of it I agree with, and I think this is kind of interesting to listen in on. So y'all let me know what y'all think. So when the Larry Hoover, allegations come out, just what the newspaper said now. Here we go.
Siebels, age 15 years, of age 20 years, was standing in the school hall. Okay, so this...
Where the media
We're the media team. We got content. TV's in the go. We got TV in the go.
Shout out to Clubhouse TV, man. If y'all want to check out anything on the Clubhouse, you want to see what's going on, definitely go check out Clubhouse TV.
To the content.
Whatever that is, they dropped saying Larry Hoover told in 1968.
Yes, I do.
Can you read that real quick?
Yes. Okay, so this is what they dropped. It says Parker High School, located at 6800 Stewart Avenue, was the scene of a youth gang battle on September 4th, 1968. A leader of the Supreme Gangsters, 18-year-old Larry Hoover of 6853 Green Street.
Now, everybody remind that she's reading the actual article herself. So this is one of those moments where, hey, see, this is what happened, and let us tell you something different.
Informed the police that he was standing in the school hall just outside of the principal's office when two of the East Side disciples appeared. These boys, James Highsmith, age 18 years, of 6534 Emerald Avenue, and Leonard Longstreet, age 20 years, of 633 West 62nd Street, were not students at Parker High School. Hoover related that the two walked past me in the hall, and Highsmith smiled. Then Longstreet said, "Burn them," and Highsmith pulled a gun and started shooting. I got hit. Bullets also struck two bystanders.
So she's reading the same thing I read in the news article and everything, and we're gonna get WACK's response. Let me speed this up just a tad bit and throw a little music behind it. I don't want to get in trouble for using too much of this brother's content without doing a proper fair use. So fair use for commentary and educational purposes.
Mildred Siebels, age 15 years, of 7214 Peoria Street, and Louis Jackson, age 15 years, of 6815 May Street. All three Parker High School students were shot in the leg and were rushed to St. Bernard's Hospital for treatment. Only minutes after the shooting, police officers arrested Highsmith and Leonard Longstreet. At the time of Parker High School battle, Longstreet and Highsmith were at liberty on bond awaiting trial on two separate shootings that occurred earlier in the summer. At the same time, the police also arrested 17-year-old Gregory Williams of 6538 Morgan Street, who was carrying a pistol in the Parker High School hall. Williams was a member of the Supreme Gangsters. A Cook County grand jury subsequently returned an indictment number 68-3443, which charged James Highsmith and Leonard Longstreet with aggravated battery on Larry Hoover. Preliminary hearings.
Now, that's important right there. If they're charging this man with aggravated battery on him, did Larry have to come and testify? And if he was supposed to come and testify, but he didn't come and testify, but he left that statement initially, do we move the goalpost a little bit like that? And like, hey, yeah, he might have gave an initial statement, but, you know, he didn't actually snitch. Y'all know that's something that we do around. Y'all know that's something we do in 2020, 25. You're like, yeah, nigga snitched, but he ain't like all the way snitch. He did like 10% snitching. Cause he gave a statement So it just matter if you like the nigga or not, depending on, you know, if he did what in the book that he wrote.
On the case were held in the courtroom of Judge David Serta on September 17, 1968. Attending the hearings was Vicky Berry, age 16 years, of 6629 South Morgan Street. Vicky Berry was a member of the Supreme Gangsters, of which Larry, and then it cuts off right there.
So what? So there's supposed to be paperwork and documents, right? That's
Now here's the beginning of what I feel like is a little spin, because he like, this supposed to be paperwork and document. No, this is 1968 news article. And everything wasn't operating the same way it do now. Now, this is how good WACK is with making you goddamn hear something different than what you just heard.
So there's supposed to be a court report, a police report. Ebony, there's supposed to be a police report.
I just got this article. I'm not sure exactly if it's a police report, but it looks like somebody's reporting on the actual incident.
Well, here's the thing, right? In order to get police reports, court paperwork from 1968, it's probably available, but you would have to go down there in person and request it. And that shit is probably held.
Okay, that's true. But obviously nobody's gonna point out, because if you point out anything besides what this nigga is talking about, that nigga gonna snap and go crazy. But the fact that it's not a court paperwork, it's just a news article that was in the paper the day after the shooting, telling about a shooting and what was reported, without knowing all this bullshit that everybody's put together with this selective politics and the politics of who's snitching or who not. Because back then, if niggas was reading the paper, they were like, hey, look how this nigga snitched on me, man. They said you did this and this and that. So, you know, if it's still in the Chicago paper to this day saying the same shit, I mean, that's black and white, brother. I can like the fuck out of somebody. I can feel like the man changed his whole life. He, you know, he could be a leader. He could be everything that everybody's saying what he is. But he still did the same shit that so many niggas get condemned for, so many people get killed for, so many people, you know what I'm saying, just get drugged for. The person that wrote the book. And even if it was even close to that, he only got shot in the leg. We supposed to, from the rules, you ain't even supposed to be able to talk to the police.
Library somewhere, right? Now.
Right. I would think so. They did give a the actual what is it? They gave that number out, which was the indictment. It says the Cook County Grand Jury subsequently returned an indictment number 68-443, which charged James Highsmith and Leonard Longstreet with aggravated battery on Larry Hoover.
And you best believe your bottom dollar, that paperwork is going to come to the internet soon. If that paperwork could be found, and most likely it'll be somebody in Chicago that's going to have to go down there to the corpse to get something that old. It's probably not even on, you know, digital at this point. So it's coming out.
So
now these individuals, we talk about 1968, we talking about the height of all these organizations being established. We talking Black Panther area. We talking about the height of a lot of things, right? So when we dealing with this, right, Larry Hoover go to jail, I believe, in 75. So we talking about
73.
7 years. Just me. Ain't no way from 68 to 75 his growth years to becoming who he is to his organization, his clique, his crew, whatever they want to call it back then. We know Mr. Hoover don't represent that today. But I find...
And you gotta peep that type of shit. We know he don't represent that today because he has to try to do the, you know, try to change the man image to try to get him free. And I get it. Shit. Gangsters alike, you gotta, you know what I'm saying? Shit. WACK tell you what he is, shit. He stand for that shit. And that's cool, shit. If that's your people, do what you gotta do. But I'm just saying that's what's going on. I ain't saying whether it's right or wrong. Because if it's my people, I'd do the same fucking shit. I'm just saying. I'm gonna be lying my ass off. Yeah, man, you done changed around and this and that. But at 70-something years old, of course that man done changed his life. We all know that. He ain't about to come out here and regulate shit with them goddamn boys, them wild ass young niggas in the streets. Cut it out. All it is a whole bunch of rap niggas and everybody want to get an interview. That's it. And niggas want to make sure they front and center in line. Yeah, man, I gave Larry Hoover a little couple of, $100 grand or whatever. Everybody want to make sure they be front and center. If this man, be able to get out. Just like they did with Big Meech. Like, it's a whole bunch of distraction.
I find it hard to believe it was a shooting and some dudes was incarcerated and they still put this man in position to be who he is. He goes to prison.
And he went in 73, so shoot, that was even 2 years.
So we like 68, that's 5 years. He goes to prison. When he gets to prison, he's who he is. You hear nothing of it. In prison, it's growth in prison, and back then it was some of the most deadliest, dangerous times, I'm sure. You hear nothing.
And you're right, but the way things travel wasn't the same, man. He could have been protected. Shit. And niggas probably didn't look at snitching like that, you know what I'm saying? Like, hey, nigga told that, another nigga shot me. Niggas probably didn't even think about the niggas snitched on him. They probably felt like, hey, we was already out on bond for shooting another nigga. They ain't give a fuck that they was going to jail. So they ain't give a fuck that a nigga was snitching. That shit probably got buried. I'm saying if that happened. I ain't saying it did. I'm saying if that happened to happen. I don't know. But the newspaper said it did happen. And I'm inclined to believe these folks because that was before this man was the infamous Larry Hoover. This is when he was just another, street thug. These folks ain't got no reason to lie on this man. Now, there is a great question. Why is it coming out now? I believe the same thing. Why is it coming out now? Is it a hit piece? Yes, I do think it is. But is it a lie? No. It's just that somebody hid it for a long time. Or, it was overlooked. But I think it was buried for a long time.
Nothing of it then. 10 years, 20 years, he catch Fed time, life sentences. He goes to the feds, you hear nothing of it then. 30 years, 40 years, 50 years, 52, 53 years. You hear nothing of it until 24 hours after a pardon.
This is the game.
And the thing about it, y'all, niggas get to watch. Niggas got cell phones in prison. So niggas is finding out for themselves. Some cats, they're gonna, go with their loyalty and all that stuff like that. But some cats are actually gonna pay attention and listen like, damn. I've been going by this shit my whole life thinking that nigga, there was real niggas like this give you a hope. This is crushing a lot of niggas, you know what I'm saying? Like, damn. Ain't no motherfucking goddamn loyalty amongst these.
But my question is, who went down or had knowledge of the court building and requested these documents? We need to know where that person is.
But hey, don't this sound familiar, people? Now it's a hunt on the person that went and realized in the newspaper, the person that was starting to dig and see, hey, what can I find? I believe this is a Fed hit.
Right.
Because without that person, I'm going to call it cap. I'm going to call it, it took 53 years, no, 58 years, the 5 years he was on the street, the 53 he been confined, for this to pop up. Okay. A lot of these people might not be alive, but shit, where they family members at? Where's the chatter of this at? I have heard nothing about it.
And that's why a lot of these family members and shit probably gonna shut the fuck up because they're older. They don't want no smoke. They don't want no problem. They don't know how to work this internet shit. But these niggas gonna go find their ass, watch.
24 hours after Larry Hoover been pardoned by Trump on the Fed side, all of a sudden, some alleged snitch paperwork pops up from 1968. I ain't buying it. I'm gonna tell you what this is. This is a plot
and it could be some shit at the very top now. Cause let's just say the Chicago paper, maybe they got something to do with it. I don't know. I'm high, so I'm gonna make up some shit. So let's say the Chicago paper, they got something to do with it. And they just slipped that article in the, you know what I'm saying, and for 1090 to stumble upon because somebody else stumbled upon it that nobody else know about, right? See how crazy that sound?
Ploy to try to get Larry Hoover assassinated before they release him from them state facilities. They're trying to plant a seed right now with them youngsters, plant a seed right now in that state facility for somebody who may want to get a rep, might want to get a rep and have an excuse of doing it. Send Mr. Hoover in his 70s to this state facility where he can finally go outside and get some fresh air and use one of these people, these youngsters, to assassinate him because they couldn't do it. You got to ask.
Or they might do it, shit. So why not blame Trump then? Like, hold on, nigga. You gonna, you know, he pardoned him, but shit. Y'all need to be working out something with the governor of Illinois. And do they not realize that the governor of Illinois don't fuck with Trump? No way, no how. Not then, not now. The governor of Illinois is not a friend of Trump. The governor of Illinois don't feel the same way that Trump feel when, you know, they dropped when he took him out of the Fed prison because, hey, I think both of them working hand in hand.
Ask yourself, why now? They said he's going to be transferred in the next 2-3 weeks, right?
Yep, they transferred him already. He at Dixon right now.
Okay, so now he's wide open. He ain't ADX, so you can't get to him, right?
Facts.
Okay, so now he's wide open. Hey, listen, all you youngsters out there in that Illinois state, don't fall victim to it. They trying to get you to do that dirty work. This man has been too high profile.
So he trying to convince, you know, he definitely using his voice to try to make sure he convince people not to crash out on him. It's a bigger play. Don't fuck up this bag. Because everybody got a bag invested in this brother getting out and glorifying, you know, what it is, you know, he stands for.
I would have released this shit. Now, I don't know who behind it, but it must be somebody behind it because you're not going to get me to believe the 5 years he was out from 68 to 73, nobody knew about this. From 73 to, I think, 97 is when he caught his Fed shit. So we got 83, 93, 24 years in the state Nobody knows about this. He's rising to his height. These dudes he told on, Larry Hoover went to jail and he was 24 years old on this situation. Them dudes would have spoke on this. That nigga told on us. It would have been out there somewhere, somehow, some way.
I don't know. But I did find a little video, and it wasn't too long, but the dude, he was like, he was the dude that shot Larry Hoover. But I think he's more of an OG, and he's like, he don't want to make him look bad because of who he became, who Larry Hoover became, who he is.
We know a lot of them might be dead now, but what happened 24, 34, 44, 54, 60? What happened in the last 50 years from his youth to him being an elderly man? 24 hours after a pardon, where they got to move him from a federal facility to a state facility, all of a sudden, some snitch paperwork comes out from 1968, what could only be obtainable from the archives if you go to the court building to request it, and you would probably have to be an attorney and or those individuals that were part of the case to get this paperwork, all of a sudden.
So that's what you would have to do to probably get that paperwork. And he kind of giving an idea to all the people that might have those qualifications to be able to go do that now. Because now that means there is paperwork out there if somebody go dig. So all this shit is what you telling us now. We just gonna wait for the work. And it depends on who plays the game right, whether that work comes out or not. See, somebody just pissed somebody off. Yeah, Trump might have pissed, I don't know, Trump might have pissed somebody off, or, you know, he been pissing folks off, so of course they gonna throw some bullshit out there. But somebody play about to get fucked up.
Sudden is up and is out? Nah. And I'm quick to jump on this. And all y'all know, hey, listen, I've been catching the flack for being, I don't know what they say, I just been speaking my truth. But in this situation right here, I believe this is a plot and a ploy to poison some of them people's minds in the state facilities who may be a part of and or against whatever organization Larry Hoover stood for and represented originally, which we know he has denounced it all. So you may.
So he pretty much saying that this is like the GDs trying to pay Larry Hoover back for trying to, you know, turn his back on him or something. I don't know. Or his ops. I don't know.
They have some people got some ill feelings about that who don't understand the political stance on why he had to do that. I don't see that as a weakness. I see that as a strategic move. But let's look at the facts. Somebody need to first show us the receipt of going to order this shit from the archives of that Illinois court. It got to be a body that says we're the one that went and requested it. You ain't just pulling this off the internet. No. Even if you go look up, on Google, are court documents from 1968 available out of Illinois court? Yes, records from 1968 would likely be available for Illinois court cases, but through access might be limited and may require in-person visit. 24 hours after his pardon, 24 hours after his pardon, Larry Hoover's a snitch. This coming from me, WACK 100. Anybody running this narrative against Larry Hoover, you should be considered the opposition. Your ass is going against the grain.
See? There you go. Just depending on who you like, though.
And you should be punished to the maximum extent by whatever group, city, state, or organization that shall dictate that. Now, this is the time for the people to stand up. If this was your father, your grandfather, your elder, who then did 53 years clean, state and fed time, walked off 20 plus in the most notorious prison, ADX. This is where El Chapo at, the Unabomber, the Boston Marathon bomber, the worst of the worst. Ain't broke, ain't cracked, continued to deliver messages to the people to try to right his wrong. We get a renegade president in there that didn't mind doing what's right for our side of the track, and in 24 hours, alleged snitch paperwork from 1968 all of a sudden appears on social media. Nah. This is when we're supposed to unite. This is when we're supposed to stand up and beat our chest and say we ain't hearing it.
I've recently come to learn that a lot of founders...
All right, that's all I'm going to play of that, but y'all heard WACK 100, man, and we all supposed to stand up and beat our chests and unite because this paperwork done, you know, popped up out of nowhere, and we need to make sure we save our people, man. When you say free a nigga, free him. So, anyway, let me get to this next little situation that we was talking about. Why are we still, you know, discussing with this WACK shit? Because these niggas do have their hands in a lot of shit. Now, we did hear this thing about Nipsy Hussle. Oh, I gotta let this nigga... My bad, y'all. I just seen a video on this same network where WACK actually got the man who shot Larry Hoover, and he says he never snitched on him. I didn't have this part planned, but I guess we need to tap in on this together.
Hey, we're going to be over here for this reason. Those of y'all that want to join, say this is newspaper over there, and check his contact out once you're done over here. Okay, I respond to it. Attack our people. The next thing, y'all talking crazy because I'm using the platform to play, baby. Wait, don't start it yet. Right there. Your speaker up top. This is perfect. Damn, you got ass. Jeez. Get them subs up, and then I'm going to let this rip. Sir. She was just being nice.
I'm on the phone with individuals from Chicago. Not just individuals, but one of the individuals that was involved in this shooting that happened with Larry Hoover.
This nigga went and found a nigga that was in a shooting with Larry Hoover over 50-something years ago. Wow. Wow. How the fuck what you did, go pull a nigga out the nursing home to say, hey man, would you come on here and, you know, talk about what happened between you and Larry Hoover? Why after 25 years, bro? All this time. Play that again. That's amazing, bro. How they'll go pull a nigga up for some bullshit.
Not just individuals, but one. So listen, let this be clear. I'm on the phone with individuals from Chicago. Not just individuals, but one of the individuals that was involved in this shooting that happened with Larry Hoover, where people are running around with the narrative that Larry Hoover told on these individuals. So I'm gonna let the brother speak.
Okay, so I don't know if he got both people, but he said he got this individual, and this supposed to be the nigga that, you know, that got shot. So I wonder if people just want to do this for free. You know, they just want the truth to be out there. Would Larry Hoover want this to be around his name? Talking about if he snitched or not.
And tell me if there's some truth to that, no truth to that. My disposition is newspaper article is not looked at as legal documents. So I've been standing. I'm gonna let the brother speak, let y'all know who he is. We all see the names that was posted on the internet about the shooters. And he's gonna tell us what his facts of how this situation went, what they are. Go ahead, brother.
Yeah, my name is James Hussle. I was the shooter because it's not there. I did do the shooting and I did serve time in prison. but it wasn't at the behest of Larry Hoover. Larry Hoover never told me. Matter of fact, there was over 100 people in the hallway, so there wasn't no way everybody knew I did it.
Now, I want to.
Yeah, see, my antennas are already up, and I'm going over this man's video. I didn't know he was doing a reaction too. But shout out to Clubhouse TV. But I'm already a little suspicious on how the man coming on, the old head. Cause Larry Hoover about 74, he got to be about 75, 76. Like, come on now. How the fuck you convince a 76-year-old man to get on the phone to talk about some shit that happened over 50-something years ago?
Make that part clear. Out the gate, the shooter, Mr. James Highsmith, just said it was a bunch of people in the hallway. Larry Hoover never told on him. Let's keep it rolling.
They didn't need Larry Hoover to tell.
The pineal gland has.
Oh shit.
Secondly, and more importantly, is that it wasn't the whole narrative that the newspaper had and a lot of people was repeating it, a lot of books never did happen like that. But as long as he wasn't with me, he was down the hallway. Can nobody tell me to burn that man? Two girls came and told me that they was coming down there to jump on me, but I could have left. But I had a pistol, so I waited for them. And that's what happened.
Okay.
I don't know, y'all. I don't know about this one, y'all. You know, because I feel like this dude would be probably like, in his 70s, bro. This don't sound like no 70-something-year-old man, bro. He using too many modern words and shit.
He said the other individual that was named in the newspaper article, where they said he told James burn Larry Hoover, said that never happened. Dude was way down the hallway somewhere. He said two girls told him they called Larry and them to come jump on him. So instead of leaving, he had a pistol, so he waited on them to show up. And when they showed up, he got busy. Let's keep it going.
Got you. So y'all had y'all personal.
All right. And that makes sense. You know what I'm saying? It makes sense about what he's saying that happened. At the same time, you got to ask yourself how the people. Never mind. Let's listen to a little bit.
Issues, regardless of what it was, you was the shooter. It was a bunch of people in the hallway that probably gave description or probably knew who you was or saw whatever it was they saw. But with you fighting the case, Larry Hoover was never a name that cooperated against you, is what you're saying. I'm saying this because he couldn't have never cooperated with me because I already pleaded out.
Okay. Now that's important. And if that was the real person, let's say it is, right? He's saying that Larry Hoover could have never cooperated because he pleaded out. He already knew that multiple people saw him and, you know, there was multiple statements written against him, possibly including Larry Hoover's. But it didn't go to trial anyway, so you wouldn't have needed him to come and testify, none of that shit like that, which, you know, would definitely put a stamp of somebody being a snitch. But 2025, if you talk to the police, period, you know, after a situation where, you know, it was you versus another person. See, like I say, this man is given the understanding of, he couldn't have snitched. He didn't say he damn right didn't write the statement or didn't give a statement, which that's what I've seen many times a lot of people, you know, call a snitch. And I'm not calling him a snitch. I'm just saying what society been able to tack on anybody for any little technicality, even when you was 14, 15, 16. I've seen this shit happen over and over and over. People make mistakes, but stop trying to hold on to this goddamn this bullshit. This shit is getting ridiculous at this point. Because now when it happens to their favorite gangster or their favorite rapper or something like that, niggas want to violate you just because you pointing it out. Like, hold up. Ain't that the same shit y'all been violating everybody else about? I don't give a fuck when it was. And it is kind of odd that it's, you know.
And the paperwork is that Larry Hoover never made a statement, period.
Now, he further goes on to say, Larry Hoover never made a statement on him, period, and he pleaded out. Wasn't no statement there. Let's keep it rolling. Again, supporting what I thought happened.
Only thing that I think has been missed, though, it was just what the newspaper reported from what was said, I guess, immediately. He might have changed up his story at the hospital when he seen a detective or something. He might have, you know, they probably brought the cameras out there. What happened to you? Such and such and such shot me. And then he done changed his mind. I don't know, man. I'm just saying. The man just reported what happened, man. Can't kill the messenger. Well, maybe you can, but.
That with this whole newspaper article, they putting what they want to put in there. Remember, man, like, information to tear you down. They try to do it to me every day. If I wasn't a strong individual I was, I'd have been ran off the internet. But listen, my support system, my mental, it don't matter. Let's keep it rolling.
That's what your paperwork read. No statement made by Larry Hoover, so there's no paperwork, period. Got you. Now,
there was never no paperwork. It wouldn't be no paperwork if you pleaded guilty. It just would have had that initial statement. I doubt Larry Hoover would have came to court. I doubt he would have, you know, participated in pointing them out and all that like that. I think it was probably like he got shot at school. It was the right thing to do. You know what I'm saying? If you at school, my nigga, you was actually trying to do the right thing. I'm just saying. Yeah, you might be in the game because when you leave school, you got to deal with the troubles of gangs and shit. True. But man was at school, minding his goddamn business. If he told the police, I wouldn't still look at him different. I just look at him as a smarter nigga now. Like, it's like, I don't know. That's the fact that I know that the nigga was at school at 18 and, you know what I'm saying, nigga shot him at school shit. Yeah, that's more gangster to me. I'm like, damn, nigga, shit was really going down like that where a nigga had to feel like he had to come to school and shoot you. Yeah, I know that you that nigga now. Like, but if you told the police that, hey, this nigga shot me, he part of that gang and all that, and that's your strategy to get your enemy off the streets, I understand. I ain't gotta agree, but I understand. If that situation made a nigga tougher, you know what I'm saying, and all of that shit like that, I understand too. But that's just how shit was going.
Another thing is, because I'm gonna be real, brother, because this is dangerous waters for me, but I feel like I got a platform and I've done time before. So when I see things and hear things, especially when we're speaking about somebody such as Mr. Hoover, who is who he is, who is a pillar, who is part of this foundation of what we call blackness, right? From where it came from, what it was, and what it is today. I use my platform to fight back. Now, I get a lot of backlash because they say, yo, WACK, this Chicago business, a GD business, why are you speaking on it? I said, well, I'm speaking on it in defense of the brother, right? If I didn't speak on it and let people run amok with it, you know, ain't no telling how big the lie or the fire might grow. So
WACK saying that, nigga, if he don't do something about it, you got to come save the day. But if you've always watched Clubhouse, which I have, I always keep my ear to the street over there and everything. WACK's been working on this Larry Hoover situation for a long time. Him and Kanye, WACK is locked in with Kanye. You know what I'm saying? Birdman, he's latched in with, you know, cats like that. So anytime you see WACK, you know, putting some pressure on a nigga, it's because of, you know, one of his bigger sponsors. Let's just say like that. Like when that whole BG thing came out. BG had just got home and all that. You think WACK would have been able to talk about BG like that?
That one is smart.
for your
You
patronage.
have smart ones and you have some that aren't quite so good.
Look at my African American over here.
Hell
Look
to
at him.
But when it's time to push a narrative, if he fucking with Kanye, he fucking with Kanye. So anything under Kanye, boy, he on it. So I can respect that nigga's loyalty.
That one is smart. You have smart ones and you have some that aren't quite so good.
Look at my African American over here. Look at him.
He don't give a fuck. He gonna push that narrative real hard. Salute, pause. Salute Eric J for the 199. It says street code is bullshit. Most of these niggas gonna snitch. Exactly. That's the moral of the story. I don't care how tough, how real, how gangster you think these niggas is. These niggas done did some shady ass shit. These niggas done used the police as a weapon. But no nigga wanna admit that they weaponized the police. They don't want to be looked at as a snitch, but niggas done weaponized the police, bro. Salute, Miss Top Chef. Yeah, niggas are definitely, niggas been weaponizing the police, man. Some of these niggas are crazy, bro. What do you do with a crazy ass nigga? A nigga that'll come in your school and shoot you in front of your principal. Shit. With ops like that, nigga, shit, boy, you in trouble. You can't afford to lack.
I'm speaking to you because you are, I consider my triple OG, one of my elders, right? I'm pretty sure you had conversations with your people. Is there any issues with how I've been handling this situation?
Actually, I'm not aware of anything, but I just appreciated that you were saying that this happened over 57 years ago. Two young men. I was 18 and he was 18. We was caught up in the times and the events, and it wasn't no real animosity towards him and I, because him and I grew up together. But the fact of the matter is that people are using things that happened that they weren't born.
That's crazy. He was saying that it wasn't no animosity. They grew up together, but yet the motherfucker just coming to the school and just try to shoot each other. That was the atmosphere.
They wasn't around. They didn't know anything about, and they had their own means and ideas. Whatever they motives are, ulterior motives are, it still don't reach the fact that it's affecting true history, and it's affecting the fact that this man has spent over 52 years in prison, and if he ain't cracked before then, what makes you think he cracked back then?
Yep. So what he's saying is this.
He said, they say he dropped out at 13, 14. What's the grad pick? I don't know. I wonder how the fuck he was at school at 18 then. I mean, maybe he was in an alternative school or some shit.
Let's pay attention to Larry Hoover's character. If he ain't cracked in the last 52 years and told on a bunch of people to free himself out of prison, what makes you think he was cracked? Because he gonna...
Who the fuck would he tell on? I mean, shit. I mean, but I don't know. I guess WACK done got a new channel. Did WACK make this channel? Yeah, I think WACK done made this channel. So, and he building this channel. So yeah, man, I ain't gonna get too much more into that. That's WACK bringing up the guy that says that he shot Larry Hoover, and Larry Hoover didn't snitch on him and all that stuff like that. I'll let y'all be the decider if y'all think, you know, what y'all think about that. I'm going to keep my opinion on that to myself. Well, I gave y'all my opinion about it, so I'll let y'all, I don't want to pound it in y'all head about what I think about it, but it sounds a little fishy. But at the same time, it could be an old man like that, but I don't know. I don't know if that man sounds like he's 73 years old or something like that. Or, I don't know. I wasn't there, so I don't know. So, we'll take that with a grain of salt, or I will at least. So, now let's get to this Nipsey Hussle shit, right? So, we've done shows before where I've talked about this Nipsey Hussle shit, and WACK was talking about him having a video in possession of, because Hassan Campbell exposed it first. Hassan Campbell recorded a call, him and WACK on the phone. WACK is telling about a Big U is wanting to extort, I think it was Lauren London, about a sex tape or something that was out, including Nipsey Hussle, one of his neighborhood Crip homeboys, and his baby mama. And the rumor is that, WACK says no longer a rumor, is that the video is out of the nigga, you know, busting in his baby mama mouth and Nip kissing him in the mouth, neighborhood Crip shit that they said. Now, not only that, and there's some charges that were dropped, but some very negative charges that came out about Nip and, you know, some minors and some shit. It's getting crazy how they attack. I ain't gonna say they're attacking the man's name, but of course people will bring shit out when you dead and gone and can't defend yourself, and, you know, make it news, and then it makes you think different about, you know, I guess the legacy of somebody, because you were like, man, that person is a real person, that person is, you know, influential. But then when you find out behind the scenes that people doing this ultra weird stuff, do you look at them the same? So, but anyway, let's get into this academic video where they're talking about both the minor accusation, the paperwork about that, and the guy's gonna come up and tell the story about the situation with the weird sex tape.
It's a lot I don't be wanting to say, right?
Yeah.
Because a lot of niggas be out here capping, right?
Yeah.
About this and about that, because they don't know shit until the motherfucker then died and they learning what are they learning.
Yeah.
But I don't give people certain things. I don't want niggas to think I'm a hater, right?
Yeah.
I don't give niggas certain things because that's like a nigga that was born and raised in Jersey, and then it's a nigga that moved from Detroit to Jersey when he was 15. I'm not gonna give him what I'm gonna get a nigga born and raised in Jersey about Jersey.
Yeah.
Right? You check your text message. See, this is why I don't give niggas all that shit, because I know the shit I know. But now that another nigga done spoke on it, there you go, right? See, for me to give a nigga that, then I got to take that from a lot of other niggas. You get what I'm saying?
Oh, let me see this.
Yeah, see, this is shit I've been knowing, but I don't say nothing. But somebody else didn't say something, so now I'm gonna bring it to your attention. See, I'm not giving a nigga that. You see what I'm saying?
So, I don't know what the motion is. I don't know who the target is, but here you go.
Give a nigga that. You follow me? See the difference between you and him? Can't nobody pull that up on you, man. Can't nobody pull that up on you. Nigga made an accusation, boom, he got handled. Grand jury struck down, boom. But I can't give niggas that when I know what I know.
Okay, all right, WACK, is this, so I'll explain, and by the way, WACK sent me a link to a, this is a blog on Instagram. I'll pull it up. WACK, have you verified this?
You gotta verify what I already knew.
No way. Wait,
it's another one in the, it's another one in the.
This is not fake work, is it?
Hey, yo, WACK, listen, I don't give people certain shit because I know the shit that I know, homie.
Okay, so chat, just, you know, what WACK just sent me. They said, breaking news. Some past charges related to Rolling 60s own Nipsey Hussle have surfaced. One of the charges included him playing on the field where the grass is barely even growing. Now, when you look at it a little bit closer, I don't know if you guys can see, it says unlawful sexual intercourse with a minor. Now, WACK, I gotta be very careful here. This is very treacherous waters.
No, that's public record.
Is this public record? And you're sure that somebody else can pull it up? Because I just
I seen that shit many moons ago, my brother. It's a whole lot niggas know, bro, that niggas just don't say. Bro, that shit right there from like 15 years ago.
Wait,
so like 08.
What was the plea on it? Because I'm looking.
Now, I believe this would have came out if Nip was alive. I mean, even when Nip was alive, I think he hinted at, you know, he did have something going on, and he got it out the way. But yeah, this shit was gonna come back and bite him in the ass. As soon as he didn't agree with somebody he don't like WACK. Yeah. But this is how niggas, you know, extort you. They find some little weird shit about you or whatever, and niggas had that holding it over your head because it fucks up your image. Even though these charges were dropped, you know, a lot of people gonna be like, shit, how did you even get some type of shit like that? You know what I'm saying? People, you know, that's just how people do, man. All right, we got top 7 coming up. Hold up 1 second. We got a guess, y'all. So I've been running my mouth for a minute. We can go for a guess. What's good? What's good?
We good. Shit. We good though. Hey, shit. Hey, my bad. Let me turn shit down. My bad. Shit, I ain't trying to disrespect your show and shit though.
No,
but
how
you
doing?
Talk
About the subject. That's cool.
Huh?
I said I dropped the link for a reason. I mean, as long as you're talking on the subject, that's cool. What's good?
Shoot, what's the subject?
All right, let's get back to the subject then. So, let me pull this down. You might as well drop down, bro. If you don't know what the subject is, bro, you ain't about to interrupt my show.
For the plea, I see he had a firearm. It said no contendere. And by the way, so the charge underneath was lewd act on dependent on a adult by caretaker with force. WACK. This is serious allegations. Like,
hey, yo, listen what I'm telling you. All these people in your chat, that shit 17 years ago, right? They probably couldn't even read or write. This is why when they say dumb shit, you tell people, WACK is Reggie Wright. We've been around, homie, and we still here. See, it's a lot of niggas that was around, but
So he pretty much saying, nigga, y'all young ass nigga, y'all don't know what these niggas is on. These niggas been extorting these niggas for a long ass time, man. Knowing shit about these niggas that we don't know, or that y'all young niggas don't know.
They wasn't in the mix. You understand what I'm telling you? They wasn't in the mix.
Wait. So the people on the West Coast know this? Like, it seems like that Nip is a certified.
No, I'm telling you, those charges being.
Okay, well, we got to figure out what happened with the charges. It could be some false charges. He never had to register.
Right.
No, we got to be fair because sometimes niggas might get hit with some shit, whatever.
He's the only one in the crew with the charges.
What?
You heard what I said.
He ain't the only one in the crew with those charges. Who else in that crew?
See, this is why they should just leave me the alone, bro. Just leave me. Look, bro, I don't fear none of you niggas. I ain't scared to die. I got a little bag. My politics is right. Leave me the alone, bro. Stop with me. Leave me alone, bro. Because I know what I know. You know what I'm saying?
I gotta find out who the fuck he talking about fucking with him where he keep goddamn, you know what I'm saying, exposing Nip for some reason. I mean, the man dead and gone, bro. But at the same time, it's like it's somebody that's fucking with WACK when he like, nigga, I'm gonna hit you where it hurt, and I believe like it's they must be making money off of Nip, off of Nip name, or he want to violate them like they I don't know, they gang or something. Cause yeah, I can't listen to Nip music the same knowing that this nigga kissed the nigga, not kissed the nigga, kissed the girl in the mouth after a nigga just busting her mouth, bro. That's yeah, my nigga. I can't look at him the same no more. But this is the type of shit that these niggas do, bro. These niggas, boy.
Hold on 1 second. Hold on. What?
And it's just the fact that they don't want other niggas to know. And like I say, if a nigga was just saying this, that's one thing. But niggas got videos out there, bro.
What the hell is going on? Chat, this one respectfully, I'm gonna let West Coast handle West Coast business. I want no parts.
Nephew. What's up, man? Now listen to me. We ain't saying no names. Now, I speak. When people ask me about the Nipsey shit, I say very minimum, do I not? Yeah, facts. It's a whole lot of other footage I can speak on and text messages I can speak on, but I never do. Have you heard me tell a lie about anything, the minimum I speak on? No. I'm telling academics. You know why this man know academics?
How?
Because he's the man in the video. So when you ready to come out here and you got your bag up, I call nephew, he'll pull up. He ain't no gang member, he ain't none of that. I'm gonna protect you with my life.
Is he an escort? Because that was some bitty shit.
No, he
And a nigga asks, is this nigga an escort? What the fuck? Yeah, Nick was a freak, man.
He ain't none of that, nigga.
Nah, that's a little bit more than a freak.
He just a nigga that got his swag up. He ain't none of that shit. That part. None of that. He legal. He get legal money. He got 2-3 businesses. And nephew got his swag up. He been around us forever. Facts. Never been a hater. You know who used to be kind of like similar to him? How we would.
Yeah, man, because it's like, and I just want y'all to listen to this. I'm not saying that I agree. I'm not saying, you know what I'm saying? I'm just saying, boy, you got to be careful. These niggas will put campaigns out on your motherfucking ass. But this dude, I believe he's credible because a lot of people would be coming out and saying, man, that's bullshit. That ain't true or whatever, you know. But if they got a video and this man is really, you know, willing to come out here and say that, you know what I'm saying, and stand on it, like, can't be mad because you like a nigga, like the way a nigga rap. But the niggas get down on some weird ass shit, nigga, behind them, you know, behind the microphone.
You remember the homie that got killed with Chris Brown? Out there in Miami, he got shot in the club.
Oh, yeah.
I know you're talking about. Okay, these two niggas were sort of the same, only he tried to fit in a little too much with the street. Nephew just who he is, bro. He's just a cool nigga, that's it. You know what I'm saying? He does his thing, that's it. He ain't looking for no handout. He ain't looking for no pat on the back. He a cool nigga.
Oh, damn.
Now, whenever you ready, to put the bag up, nephew pull right up, press play. But he telling you, it's a whole lot I can say that I don't say, bro. I've seen it with my own eyes.
So here's the thing. I'm wondering if this is one of those situations I should just stay out of West Coast niggas' business. Because I ain't know niggas got
what I'm saying is this, bro. I'm going to be real. I don't believe dude was ashamed of his life. He wasn't.
Nah, he definitely wasn't. You know what I'm saying?
He wasn't. So it's all these other people that want to act like he was. Dude wasn't ashamed of his activities, bro. That was what.
See, back then he probably wasn't. But I mean, the way niggas done shift shit to 2025, I don't know.
That was when it came to that. Y'all making it like he gotta be. Nephew right here. He ain't ashamed.
Nah, for sure. I get bitches. I don't fuck with no niggas, man. This is cool.
I mean, listen, I guess if we ever do an interview, we'll get to the real conversation, but why do you think he picked you?
What happened?
Why do you think Nick picked you to, like, his baby moms?
This nigga, what the hell? I gotta get, he a real journalist. He asking a very difficult question.
Man, because I had motion. I had money. I was doing my shit. You know what I'm saying?
He thought, I'm going to say it may sound crazy. He thought nephew was a fly-ass nigga on top of his game. That's what he thought. And shit.
Man, this nigga whack as hell, boy. He gassing the shit out this nigga. Like, yeah, he was Nip tight. So he like, this nigga ain't shit.
Because nephew got to a point to where he like, hey, bro, nigga, I'm not just gonna keep moving around here. You got to take care of me.
Nah, man,
Man, I walk around this LA, man. Don't nobody touch me, man.
Yeah,
I'm
nephew's
from
doing
the
this
streets,
shit,
man.
bro.
I walk
Run around this mother in Lambos and all kind of shit. Dude, for what? But bro, that's his preference, bro. That's
Now, if I'm
he called on nephew.
Yeah, if I'm in the hood and I'm in they shit, you know what I'm saying? Of course, this shit is different, but I be in Beverly Hills, I be in Hollywood.
Wait, y'all be getting no threats over this
How you
shit?
gonna get how you gonna get mad at a nigga that got called on?
Whack,
bro.
Oh shit, my phone. Oh my god. Damn, my phone might die. Yo, chat. I don't know. Do you think Wax just cooked this? Not like cook it up like it's fake, because you know if it's fake, it would damage Wax's reputation. But do you think that? I don't know. Like that's why I'm like sitting here. I'm like, is Wax using me? Like I don't. Yo, West Coast niggas. I want nothing to do with any. I told you I like to stay out games. If Nip used to like his girl getting niggas, I want no problem. I don't know about kids. I want to put that on the record. Okay. All of this shit. By the way, the name of this page is called West Coast Gangs. I just want to let y'all know. This ain't a little academic, so when I come here and do my little two-step in the Beverly Center, or y'all catch me at the Wardorf, please do not run up on me.
So everybody got to be on thin ice, man, when you talk about what's actually out there, man. If the video out there, we can't deny the shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, hey, but Nip still made some good songs or whatever. I never really held him to that high standard of the best rapper, none of that shit like that. So he, you know what I'm saying, the man's safe, man. He should be good. Like, I ain't gonna crucify him. But anyway, man, I think I've covered about enough, man. Do we have any questions when it comes to this Larry Hoover situation, to this Nipsey Hussle situation? Now I guess I could go ahead and let this brother up. Now that if he was all right, brother, if you want to come back now after I'm done with the show, now we can. Anybody want to come up and say whatever they got to say? That would be the time. But I'll let y'all give y'all comments at the end of the show, and let me know what y'all think about either one of the topics. Now, when it comes to Larry Hoover, like I say, if the man come home, fine. If he don't come home, I don't give a shit. You know what I mean? Even if, I just don't understand. I don't understand how the hell somebody can get paper. Why would somebody go get a news article from 68 years, you know, after 24 hours after? I agree with that. But at the same time, if somebody was trying to put out a campaign and trying to get somebody, you know, in a situation, yes, that would be something that they would do. But there's a pattern of people always putting people out there like that. Like, as soon as BG got home, now he a snitch. Who else? Big Meech. Bitch Meech was a snitch. As soon as he get home, and he ain't cooperate with certain people. Now you got Larry Holmes home, and I believe that whoever Larry Holmes whoever Larry Hoover has decided to do business with, they've created some enemies on the other side. And so now we're gonna see this battle go out in the open. I think that's one of the reasons why WACK is so hell bent on trying to keep Larry Hoover's image as clean as possible, because I want to say I heard him say probably a year or two ago that he had the rights on the documentary, the official documentary or the book on Larry Hoover. So of course you want to keep his image as clean as possible, because the interviews and all of that stuff, if you can get Larry Hoover himself, say probably Vlad or somebody, or Adam 22. I'm not saying that's who I'm referring him to. I'm just saying most likely those would be the ones that he'll end up on. because them folks probably give him a bag. He might even end up on AKADEMIKS because he's connected to WACK 100, or he might end up on WACK 100 show. I don't know. But if that man end up out of prison, but in state prison, he'll most likely be on a cell phone real soon and be able to do whatever he need to do. But he'll be coming up for parole in, I guess, another couple of years. He's eligible for parole. So it just depends on when they're going to grant that parole. He definitely went for a parole 2024. So I believe, I honestly believe if he's going to have to do like another 5 to 10 years. And if he's still alive, I believe they'll let him, get out on parole. And compared to what he's gotten, the sentence that he was sentenced to, 150 years, 150 to 200 years, and 6 life sentences in the Fed, like, you were supposed to leave in a body bag. He's going to be the first person to leave out of that AKADEMIKS prison that's not in a body bag. He has the whole world of, people probably jealous because, like, damn, motherfucker, I'm really in here for some shit that I should be free from. I did a story when I first started doing this shit of a man that been locked up for 40 years. And even the prosecutor said they got it wrong, and they still wouldn't let this man out of prison because of a loophole. So justice is kind of blind, and it's not in a good way. But hey, if he got free, man, shout out to freedom. But y'all tell me what y'all think, man. We got 72 likes in the area. We still got 43 watching. I appreciate every single one of y'all. I appreciate the gifted membership. Shout out to Halima. Shout out to everybody that just kicked in on the show. It was a quick story that I'm thinking about going over real quick. Let's see. Okay, so let's get out of here, and I'm gonna play this a little bit of this right here to describe to y'all a little bit of this Larry Hoover story and how some people thought about it. This is NBC Chicago. How white people looked at it, that just aren't all on board with this, just the propaganda and stuff.
In criminal organization, who of America's biggest criminals, he was still running criminal organizational operations from behind bars.
Commuted, he is not a free man yet. Today we're going to explain how he ended up locked up in the first place and his path forward from here. NBC5 investigative reporter Chuck Gowdy is our guest today. Chuck, thanks for helping us.
So I believe they're going to talk about the Century 21 situation also when he started joining into the politics of things. So I'm hoping that this is the same video that I saw that'll cover a little bit of this.
Let's break this down today.
Alex, nice to be here.
So first, just tell us, who is Larry Hoover and what is he known for?
Well, the short answer is Larry Hoover is a 74-year-old gangbanger. Once you get past that, you can examine.
Damn, they was crucial on that. He didn't have to say 73-year-old gangbanger. Oh shit, hold on, my bad, y'all. Y'all can't see the screen. I'm tripping. I think y'all can still hear it though. I just want y'all to see what, some of these white folks still think about this shit. And we see that it's like these fights that we be fighting. I'm still trying to figure out, like, are we fighting to get ahead, or we just fighting to stay in the same little bullshit? Because I ain't about to keep fighting for these niggas that just, you know, just because y'all want to glorify some crazy shit.
What he did inside this, this phenom of a gang called the Gangster Disciples that had, fingers and tenants in all sorts of places across the country, 36 states, tens of thousands of operatives, gang members, so to speak. Hoover controlled them all, and to listen to some federal law enforcement officials, still does.
And you're definitely right about that, Cappy Queen. Before you get out of here, the way WACK said it, that Hassan Campbell made it a shame. He's spinning it now. Originally, Nip was being extorted by Big U, right? Exactly. Now he the one. I think he wanted the Big U to get out the way so he can get the extortion in. That's what it looked like. But salute, Cappy Queen.
That's an amazing stretch. I mean, you talk about the fact that he's also been behind bars since 1973. A lot of the younger people watching this have no idea who Larry Hoover is or what he may have done, but they'll certainly know the name Gangster Disciples, and they certainly have felt the effects to some degree on the city of Chicago. Larry Hoover shaped the south side of Chicago to a large degree after growing up in Inglewood and rose to become the head of this incredible gang empire that, like you said, stretched all across the country. The big news, though, is that he just got the federal sentence commuted. Break down, what does it mean when the president commutes a sentence?
So there are essentially two kinds of, quote, clemency in this country for people who have been sentenced to prison and are locked up. I mean, the first is a full-blown pardon, which means your record is wiped clean and you walk out of prison and you have nothing on your record.
And that's what he did for the Carsleys, the white folks. That's what he did for Kodiak Black. That's what he did for NBA Youngboy. But only thing he could do is commute the sentence of the federal sentence of Larry Hoover, which just pretty much saying, hey, you did your time, gone back to the state prison. And I think it's like, hey, let's save a little money on you here. We'll throw you back to the wolves. You'll be dead soon. We'll throw a little hot sauce on you so them niggas, so them wolves can have something to chew on. Put that jacket on them. These folks know what they're doing.
The second is a commutation, which means however long you've been locked up, we're going to let you go. And that's what's happened in this case. Hoover has been locked up for decades. President Trump signed a commutation, which means he walks out of the federal system. In Hoover's case, he will be walking straight into the state prison system as well because he still has some legal issues there.
Let's talk about why the feds and state police and any law enforcement basically who's ever come in contact with Larry Hoover consider him so dangerous. What made him end up in the Supermax prison in Colorado in the first place?
Well, the reason he ended up in the Supermax, just to back it up from there, is because he was still running criminal organizational operations from behind bars.
From state prison.
From state prison.
Everybody need to know that. What Trump just what Trump just commuted, it was only from him running the gang inside a prison.
And the best hope that at least law enforcement officials in this country have found to try to prevent that from happening, stop it from happening, or curb it at the very least, is to put somebody in these administratively sanctioned facilities. The Supermax in Florence, Colorado is one of those. You're in solitary confinement in most cases. You have almost no contact with anybody on the inside and hardly any contact ever with somebody from the outside. So your ability to run criminal rackets, whether it be for the mafia or for a street gang, is really limited.
They don't send you to Supermax for parking tickets. I mean, the list of people who are in there, it's just a who's who of America's biggest criminals. Got El Chapo, I think, Richard Reed, known as the Shoe Bomber, Jeff Fort, who ran the Al Rukens here in Chicago, 9/11 plotter Zacharias Moussaoui. I mean, these are...
I think you are operating for a nip, okay?
I'm what y'all think about the content. Appreciate everybody pulling up to a name. Be sure to like the video. Go ahead and share it. Be sure to tell a friend. We got content.
My bad about that, y'all. I'm going to close out these other tabs.
Bad guys.
Right, and that's why they're there.
Now, they also got in that same prison, I think they got Malachi York. I think they got they got a lot of fucked up people in that bitch, boy.
It's a relatively small facility in terms of numbers. I guess thankfully there aren't, thousands and thousands of people who deserve to be there. But the people who are there for a reason. And Larry Hoover would have been, at the top of the list of people from Chicago.
So it's just a matter of hours since that commutation came down from President Trump on the federal sentence part. As you mentioned, he's still convicted and sentenced under state law. Do we know where Larry Hoover is right now?
Well, as far as we know, he is still at the Supermax in Colorado. They're preparing to move him back to Illinois. It may have happened 5 minutes ago.
Yeah, it happened yesterday. So I think this video, they moved him out of the federal system, and now he's at like a medium security prison. And good luck with him trying to keep niggas from like bowing to him and praising him and all that shit like that. Niggas are tying themselves to him, beating up other niggas in the name of him and all that shit like that. Yeah, good luck to that.
Oh, it may happen this weekend. It will happen at some point because the federal government no longer has a hold on him. When he comes back to Illinois, he will be immediately put into a state prison, a maximum security state prison. He's still being held in Illinois, or will be anyway, on a sentence of 150 to 200 years for similar things that caused him to be locked up in the federal system. And he will be there in state prison in Illinois until he has a parole hearing here, or the governor decides that he's going to commute his state sentence as well.
Okay.
We've not heard officially from the governor on this, but those are the only two options Larry Hoover has to see actual freedom out on the street.
Obviously, Hoover's family is celebrating this. His supporters are celebrating this. But
yeah, it's putting him in a better position, because if you take this nigga from a damn, if you take him from a Supermax prison where he don't never get to see daylight, do shit, talk to nobody, and then you put him in a prison where niggas still got cell phones and, you know, you got books and you get to go out on the yard, get fresh air. It's like, come on. Hell yeah. 30 years, bro. 30 years. This man probably like a caveman at this point. They tried to break, well, they trying to see if they broke him. If you put this man out of society, man, it would be mind-blowing. Take a man out of society for 50 years and put him back in to see what happens.
But he was convicted in 1973 on a murder, and that's what's putting him back behind state bars right now. Do we know how long this process could take in terms of parole, the next steps for him to actually have him potentially be a free man?
Right. Well, if Governor Pritzker were to commute his state sentences, it would be as quick as the Trump commutation.
Okay.
There's no reason to believe that that's going to happen. Some people don't think that Pritzker has much of an appetite to do that. There's nothing politically in it for him to speak of, and he doesn't necessarily want to follow in the footsteps of Donald Trump. They're not best of friends.
They don't see eye to eye on all this stuff.
So,
yeah, that could be a problem unless he's friends. So, but another thing that can happen though is the next election, if there is somebody that wanna, put some energy into that. So, but like I say, he'll have to wait for like another 4, 5, 6, maybe 10 years. I believe he'll go free though eventually, just because people want to hear the feel good story.
if you set that aside, then the parole mechanism is not overnight. It's not fast. It requires the submission of current paperwork. There's a hearing. There is debate by the state parole authorities, and then there's a vote. And he's been up for parole previously. He's eligible for parole now based on the way that Illinois law was back in the 70s. The last time it came to a vote in Illinois, I think there was only one vote in favor and the overwhelming majority against letting Larry Hoover out.
Let's talk about some of the things really quick that federal prosecutors.
Damn, if that's true, that's fucked up. But maybe they'll get some, people in there that'll, be in favor of him. You got to grease some palms.
Prosecutors say that Larry Hoover did, and he was convicted of. I got a quote from Ron Safer, who led the prosecution under Operation Vacuum. The DEA agents who gave it that name, they don't have a great sense of humor. Maybe they did. Operation Vacuum for Hoover.
They need TV rights.
They do. Here's a quote from Ron Safer, saying that Hoover, quote, ran a gang from prison that was responsible for the highest murder rate the city has ever seen, a drug network that was pervasive and efficient, and an organization that controlled parks and street corners and neighborhoods and made it impossible for children to go outside and be children, unquote.
Snitch because he got shot. Right? He's saying the man was known for standing on this gangster. Now, in his up-and-coming conversation, I'm going to ask him if he ran into Larry Hoover.
Now, if he's saying that kids couldn't play outside, they're saying that the murder rate was high as it ever been. Well, damn, Gucci.
Making $100 million a year in drug sales. When you go back as well and you look at the murder rate in Chicago, just on a totality year to year, People think it is bad in the recent years, and it is pretty bad for a couple of years recently, but not compared to the early 90s and the early 1970s when this drug war was going on.
Right.
Can you give any color to that effect in terms of what the feds are talking about, how bad it really was when Larry Hoover was running things?
Well, it was pushing 1,000 murders a year, and nearly all of them had some connection to the drug and gang trade in Chicago, and Larry Hoover owned and operated that. Nothing happened in that area, those arenas, without Hoover's knowledge and most likely approval. And so that's kind of the backdrop for all of this. And that's why federal law enforcement, federal prosecutors across the board are saying that this is not somebody who should be on the street. And even if there has been a come to Jesus by Larry Hoover from the Supermax prison, that there are certain people in this country who don't deserve mercy. And they say Larry Hoover is among that few.
Yeah, just to give a little bit of description to what Larry Hoover supporters and Larry Hoover himself has said, this is a letter that Larry Hoover wrote a couple of years ago, owning up to what he did, saying he accepts full responsibility. He can honestly assess and appreciate the magnitude and scope of the harms my actions had wrought. It goes a longer letter, of course, than that. That's obviously been the argument that this is a changed man, even though he's done so much wrong in the past that he...
Shit, everybody gonna be changed after 50 goddamn years. You sit your ass, well, matter of fact, we got to say after 30 years. Because he wasn't really changed after 20, because he was still making hand over fist money. But for the last 30 years, sitting in that Supermax prison, well, if you ain't changed, but something just wrong with you.
He admits to. That is ostensibly part of the reasoning that President Trump issued this commutation. It's just going to be interesting to see how this plays out from here, considering the long length of conduct for which he has been locked up.
Right.
And yet he's going to be 75 in November, what the state might end up doing related to his freedom.
Well, just about everybody who's locked up in prison is changed in some way or another. And don't forget, if you want any chance...
Yeah, I ain't gonna lie, shit. Them little 3 years changed me. I can imagine what 30 years will do. Well, I'd be a motherfucking monk coming out this bitch.
At parole in Illinois or anywhere else,
you better ask for this. Yeah.
Well, there is an acceptance of responsibility that's required. If you walk in and say, I didn't do any of these things, I was wrongfully accused, I've been locked up against not only my will, but against the laws of Illinois, you're never going to get out. And so there is some selfishness by every prisoner to accept responsibility for what they were locked up for doing.
Yeah. I would like to have Larry Hoover Jr. on the podcast. I've invited him to come on because I would like to hear that family side of the story and just hear what a changed man they believe he is and how they think he can do some good for society at this point in time. That is the argument that they're putting forth anyway. Do we know, Chuck, you may not have the answer to this, if anybody from Supermax has ever been already commuted or pardoned?
Because we weren't able to find anybody.
Okay.
It hasn't been around there as long as Alcatraz.
Sure.
It's a relatively new facility, but they've had, as you listed out, some notorious people there. And at least from what we could find, the only way out of there if you're a prisoner is in a body bag.
Yeah.
There have been no commutations or pardons by anybody who's been locked up.
So he might be the first.
Well, damn, there you have it. He will be the first to ever make it out of that prison alive. And if he can ever hit the ground of the United States, there's going to be a big old bag waiting on him. And there's a lot of people that's already in line trying to get a hold of some of that bag. Yeah, there's going to be a lot of people trying to get some of that bag.
Up to me. A lot of y'all may say, why he didn't squabble up? Hey, listen.
Yeah. So, just, keep your eyes open, man. When you're seeing the news all on your Facebook feed, seeing it all on your Google feed, at least you know a little bit more about what's going on. I don't think this man is any kind of threat to society. I think he has, of course, he definitely probably is a changed man. I believe he made more than a mistake, because a mistake is something you do on accident one time. I believe he probably done some evil shit. And just like a lot of people who are that smart, they're definitely very good at manipulating people. So, hey, it is what it is. But like I say, if it was my family member that, I felt like that had to suffer from what, was going on through them days or whatever, hey, I probably would feel some type of way, but it's not. But I still could feel sympathy and say that, hey, if that man never got out and had to do the rest of his days in prison, I mean, hey, you reap what you sow. But we living in society right now that, you know, hey, people looking at it a little different. Maybe he can do something within his last 10 years, because that's what Kanye telling us, that, hey, he's going to be so powerful if he get out that he's going to make such a big difference. I guess all the, you know, gang members in Chicago going to stop shooting up shit. But as y'all can see, the murder rate was at its all-time high, when all that man was just right there at a state prison, just like he had right now. So, y'all be the decider of that, but I'm going to get up out of here. Y'all, make sure y'all hit the like button. And, I'm gone.
Oh, you're going crazy. Oh, you're going crazy. You're going crazy. You better march when I step. You better march when I step. Nigga, march when I step. You better march when I step. Nigga, better march when I step. Nigga, march when I step. March when I step. You better march when I step. You better march when I step. Nigga, better march when I step. You better march when I step. You better march when I step. You better march when I step. Nigga, march when I step. You better march when I step. March when I step. Them Georgia boys. Hey, but we not from Atlanta. It's Boss Man the Blick and it's Crucial the Cake. When we come together, nigga, form on me hammer. Fuck it, I had no manners. They sleeping on us good in they pajamas. I bam 'em, nail 'em down like a hammer. Stop playing with 'em, gon' kill 'em, nigga. Damn, what's next, nigga? I don't even know. I'm a giant around this bitch, nigga. Fee 5-4. I been round and around this game like a rope. It's about to go down like a motherfucking slope. If I had to be an animal, I'd probably be a goat. And I stay up in the hood, you can call me a coat. Can't beat me in rapping, nor beat me in trapping. Can't beat me in chess or tic-tac-toe. You better march when I step. You better march when I step. Nigga, march when I step. You better march when I step. Nigga, march when I step. Nigga, march when I step. March when I step. You better 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 march when I step. Nigga, march when I step. You better march when I step. March when I step.
I'm the lieutenant. I'm checking you bitches ain't minding your business. I'm from the trenches, you niggas ain't taking it serious. Pussies, they tend to be curious. You gotta be kidding me. Keep me a remedy. His head on the guillotine, that what it finna be. I know you scared of me, that what it better be. Open chest, nigga, but this ain't no let it be. So what are you telling me? Greener than celery. I know the truth that you niggas prepare for me. All of these bitches, I know they don't care for me. I'm cooking them up and I been had the recipe. Softer than pleasure me. Bitches, they pleasure me. That ass be so soft and they shake like the letter B. Calling me king and they wanna be queen. You messy little bitches, I do not fuck with you.
You better march when I step. You better march when I step. Nigga, march when I step. You better march when I step. Nigga, better march when I step. Nigga, march when I step. March when I step. You better march when I step.